Bicycle.
No, that's
Hey,
not.
hello and welcome to the Labour Social on Labour Social. And today I'm joined by A. Thompson and
What's up?
also by Wayne Lynch. Wayne in Basildon. How you doing?
I'm
I
good,
like your
man. I'm
Nirvana
good.
t-shirt. That's quite
Thank-
cool.
Thank you very much.
Retro.
And by the way, Lithium is my favourite song. And if anyone needs me
Good
to
song.
prove my credentials to my guitar is just there.
Is
So
it?
I'm not.
That's
I'm not
fine.
one of these
Is it?
band t-shirt wankers.
Would
No.
you like to see my Manchester Academy 1993 Nirvana ticket?
Not
Oh my
really.
god. Really?
No, I don't have one.
Ah.
Look at that. Already we start with the fake news.
Yeah.
Well, it's all AI. So tonight, both I and Aid and Wayne are all being presented in AI. So we're actually asleep in like some kind of Bacta chamber, and this is all being generated, and it's all fake news. It's clever, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But which one of us is Neo?
It's me.
You know Kung Fu.
No, it's me.
No, I thought are you the Oracle? I thought that's a cool. I'd rather be the Oracle than Neo.
I'd rather be CFAX. Anyway, so we're going to talk about what's been going on this week, and it's been absolutely dominated by the post office scandal that's been going on for 13 years. That we've known about for 13 years, and suddenly it's all over the news. It's like Kia's beer all over again. It happened ages ago, but now it's suddenly all over the front pages. So apparently, if you're not rich, you get put in jail or driven to suicide, or made to pay a massive fine, and you lose your job and you're ostracized from your community. But if you're rich and that all happened under your watch to like 700 people, then you have to give your gong back.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's such a cop out. Sorry.
Yeah. Oopsie.
You might think there's one rule
My
for
bad.
the rich and one rule for the rest of us, but actually there is.
Yeah.
You're right to think that, because that's absolutely what happens. But it was almost a relief today. I watched Aid does every day. It's worth following Aid on YouTube and on TikTok. He's at Aid Thompson. And he does a daily review of the papers. And today you were quite excited that the news wasn't completely dominated by the post office saga. But instead it was the fact that people were being bombed in Yemen instead.
Yeah. There's never a good news day anymore, is there? It's like either it's innocent people being jailed or driven to suicide over here, or it's people being blown to smithereens in a foreign country because we want to make arms sales. It's like,
yes, and we want to get oil, all that lovely oil that we don't want to be dependent on other countries for.
yeah,
Or there's an election coming up, so we need to just blow shit up for headlines.
Yeah. It's
Well,
like, I mean, this is the thing that gets me, and I sort of touched on this on the morning roundup. It's like, here we've got this prime minister that's saying, oh, we need to drill for our own oil to be self-sustainable. So number one, we all know that that's not true. The oil gets pulled out by BP, Shell, Exxon, whoever, and then it gets sold on the global market. So it's not going to improve our geopolitical security by signing off all of these licenses. So there's that. Then there's the second thing. It's like, well, if you want to improve our geopolitical security with regards to fossil fuels, you should just sign off a load of like solar farms, wind farms. Like, we should be looking at renewables. That to me is a more cost-effective, security-conscious route to powering the country, rather than continuing to keep us hooked on this.
There's an effective moratorium on onshore wind farms in this country. And our former Prime Minister, Liz Truss, went on record to say the most depressing sight in the world isn't starving children, isn't people dying of cancer. No, it's farmers' fields full of solar panels.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, for someone who's in that industry, these farmers are selling these fields off as quick as they can because they can't, especially the dairy farmers.
Yeah,
they ain't getting money for their milk anymore because the big companies they're basically price establishing. So what they're doing is going, well, we can't sustainably feed these cows and sell you milk. So what we'd do, we'd sell the farm, part of the field off, and put a solar panel in there, or solar farm in there.
Yeah. But this is the thing, is like, if you have people being entrepreneurial about it and like setting up their own field as a sort of local power grid, or if you have people powering their own homes and
Oh no, you
farms,
can't do that. You can't do that.
that's an industry that they then can't control and tax and get donor money from. So it's got fuck all to do with like, oh, the countryside looks ugly, or we're conservatives and we're all about rural affairs and all that stuff. It's just about control, tax, donors.
Yep.
Like,
I mean,
same.
in that same vein, if you are trying to live off grid and self-sufficient, look how many blockades are in front of you before you can even attempt to do it. They'll start going with planning permission. Like, you can't even have like a 2x2 wind turbine in your garden. With it has to be a certain distance away from any local infrastructure like roads or footways or anything like that. They put everything in your way, even though you're not going to be a burden and you're paying for it yourself.
Yeah.
And
it's your land.
It's your land.
Well, that's the thing. They want to tell farmers what they can do with their own land, which is isn't that the opposite of what Brexit was all supposed to be about?
All of it goes so against what they claim are the core pillars of conservatism. They're all about small government, getting like the state, no state overreach. The state should get out of your business. And if you have a house that you own on your land and you say, I want to put up this windmill, or I want to have a load of solar panels, they were like, no, it's not in keeping with the street.
It's a libertarian
Tansky's
paradox.
Just appeared, guys. Hello, Tansky.
Hey, Tansky's here.
I didn't know that Shit Flap was joining us.
No, I'm a special guest star.
Where did you come from?
Well, you have to ask his parents. They wouldn't tell him.
Oh, I've had such a week. You're
getting questions about your little one. Are they all right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So my eldest is 7. He's fine. My youngest started coming down with these weird like flu symptoms earlier on in the week. It wasn't COVID. But the weirdest thing about it was like she had cowpole and then her temperature went up, which is like odd. And so I was like, well, let's just see, like, tomorrow we'll just monitor her, and like her nose is just like she's a zombie all week. Like her nose has just been oozing and oozing and oozing.
Her face is all red. Like...
Yeah, because she's too young to know how to blow her nose. So she's just like smearing it on herself. And she's like, and then it gets itchy, obviously, and she's like scratching.
What I do. Yeah, I just smear it.
I know, I've seen the photos. But so anyway, like we're trying to like, tell her to stop scratching her face and stuff, and and then she gets all lethargic and she's not eating and she's not even going to the toilet or anything. So finally it gets to like Wednesday and I'm like, look, I'm taking her to the GP. And the GP's like, we've just given her cowpole 10 minutes ago and the temperature's gone up. I'm like, I know. And she's like, you need to take her to A&E. And I'm like, okay. So I said, well, can I go home first and get a bag? And they're like, you can, but like, don't hang around. Yeah. And so I'm immediately like panicked. I'm like, oh, wow. So then we go to A&E thinking it's going to be this big emergency, like priority 1, triage thing. And in A&E, they were like, yeah, take a seat. Just like,
here's your ticket.
Yeah, exactly. So,
sit there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, they're war zones at the moment, aren't they? Their hospitals are just nightmares. People like, unless you're dying on the floor.
Yeah.
Wait,
Well, there was like a head nurse or someone, like, as I walked into A&E, literally the first thing that I saw or heard was this nurse at the front going like, if you are not a designated carer for someone that has like Alzheimer's or a parent, you need to leave right now. Like, it was so chock-a-block.
Like,
yeah.
Wow.
I was so people was there with people that weren't able to wait with them.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ, hospital's scary enough without that.
Yeah.
Tories. This is what 14 years of Tory rule.
So in that case, did you just get up and leave?
Yeah. I was like, you're old enough. You're 3.
You're on your own, mate.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway,
come on.
Long story short, she's fine. She's fine now.
Happy days.
Wasn't scarlet fever then?
She's they did. Do you know what? I say that she's fine. They don't know what it is. They were just like, it's like it looks like it's bacterial, but it could still be viral. And then the one doctor looks at the other doctor and goes like, let's just give her like and then they said the name of the antibiotic, amoxicillin, is it? Something
Yeah,
like that.
yes, the penicillin, yeah.
And
Yeah,
they
it's
were like,
a
should we just
broad
give it to her just to
spectrum.
be safe? Yeah.
That's a broad spectrum, so that'll kill most things, you know.
Yeah. So she started
Um,
that yesterday, and then today she's just like about 3 or 4 this afternoon. She just came to life again. I was like, wow.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
guess it
That's
just
awesome,
been
man.
an
kicked in.
infection
Yeah.
then. Oh, poor bugger.
Bloody
Yeah.
hell.
But you know what? Like, it's like with these days of terrible news, you know, murderous news stories coming out, Tory cruelty, you can get a little bit like hardened to a lot of it. And you get to a point, I think, sometimes where you think like, do I still feel like in the depth that I used to with this stuff, or have I become hardened? But like nothing will convince you that you are not a sociopath, quite like being in a little cubicle with a doctor like prodding and testing your child, and
Yeah.
her like crying out to you, going like, daddy, daddy, like trying to get you to stop the
Yeah.
doctors to like, oh my God. Like I was like, even telling my girlfriend about it yesterday, I was like, I had to stop talking because I started like welling up
It's all right
thinking
to be
about
upset about it. Like I think
Yeah.
that's yeah, it's important to let it out, man. Let everything out. Let out your tears, let out your poo, let out your sick. Let out
yeah.
snot, let it all out.
I mean, I'm glad you said that,
Live.
because if it's okay with you guys, I would like to just have a 3-minute cry now, if that's
That's
Go
okay.
on,
It's
not
okay,
Oh,
but
go on,
not
crack on,
now.
mate.
don't have a crank. I'm gonna have another one of those. Last time was bad enough.
He can't have a cry wank. He hasn't got his pot noodle, so
I have his cold pot noodle.
Come on, Graham. It'd be great content.
oh, don't. Apparently, that's what I do on the internet all day anyway.
Oh, fantastic! On only tans.
Only
Only text.
prime only tans content. Yeah.
John Mortar's in the chat. John, if you'd like to join us, the link is in the. I sent it to you on
boy.
WhatsApp. Feel
John
free to
boy.
join us, even if you are a bit half cut. We don't mind.
yeah, I'm half cut. I always
Are
like
you?
I come on here after I've been on my own podcast, knocking it back.
Yeah. Who did you have on your pod tonight?
I had Josh Hamilton, who's the Belfast sounding chap who wrote the book about Brexit, and he's working on a book about GameStop at the moment. So we're talking a bit about that,
GameStop.
that whole debacle.
Yeah.
What was that
But
when everyone
they,
bought shares in a
yeah, they basically didn't they shorted themselves and then sold their
Yeah.
stock and then rebought it, and
Well,
yeah.
it was a hedge fund, wasn't it? Went in
Yeah.
to take over this company, and they put a load of shorts in. So essentially, you know, the company goes tits up, they make loads of money. But if the company does really well, they lose everything because they guarantee to buy back their shares at a certain amount or sell them at a certain amount.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it was a Reddit group, wasn't it? Got onto it and said everyone buy shares in GameStop, and yeah. It screwed over.
Basically, mugged them off completely.
Yeah, it screwed over some hedge fund somewhere in America back to the tune of like billions of dollars, which is quite satisfying, really. I mean, we should be able to do more of this kind of thing, taking the law into our own hands and using the power of crowdsourcing.
It's like a fascinating story of that one time where the little guy had a chance to just like buy into a share portfolio and make an absolute killing at the expense of this hedge fund. And then what happened? Like, it's like the little guy can never get a break. Like, Robin Hood just shut down the buying thing. So then the value of the shares just very slowly went down and down and down and down. So all these people that bought all these shares, they were like, I'm never selling. Fuck the hedge funds. Gradually, their investment just went down and down. It's like, you just can't catch a break in capitalism.
No, capitalism. All this. Screw
don't
you.
get me started on fucking capitalism at the minute. Okay, now.
I tuned out as soon as you started talking about gaming, man. I've only got time for retro games.
No, it's not really. It could have been anything. It could have been any company, but it was a company that wasn't doing so well. It could be a Blockbuster Video.
Yeah.
There's only one left, and they went, let's all buy shares in Blockbuster to fuck over this hedge fund.
Oh, hedge funders are wankers, aren't they? Yeah, they will just like
they're vultures.
You know,
although Aid does like to defend them. Aid's got to jump in now with a bit of.
No, I don't want to repeat my whole podcast, but I was saying like to Josh earlier, I was like, there's two sides to looking at hedge funds. The first side is that they are quality control, and what they'll do is they'll research into a company and go, this doesn't add up, that doesn't add up. The board previously worked on this project and that didn't go too well. So we think that they're talking rubbish when they go to market and say, oh, isn't everything great? So we're going to buy some of their shares, publish our findings. The value of the shares will go down and then we'll make a killing. But the other side of it, which I think has equal value, is that when you publish this stuff, when you say, I'm going to make a bet for $1 billion that this company, ABC Limited or whatever, is going to fail, other people look at that shit and they go like, oh, they've just bet $1 billion. Well, I'm going to jump on that. And then there's like 15, 20 piggyback institutions or well-known traders that do it. And then this sort of prophecy becomes true because so many people have bought into the idea that it's going to fail, that it then does fail. So I totally see that it's like, a lot of people look at hedge funds as like hawkish, callous, troublemakers. But equally, there are other hedge funds out there, like a friend of mine who guested on my show, like way back, who's just basically an analyst. He's like, I look at companies who talk shit and they try to get investors in and give them 500 grand or $1 million or whatever. And then it turns out that it was all smoke and mirrors the whole time. And this guy over here loses $1 million or 500 grand. Well, what if somebody like me had come in and said from the get-go, they're talking rubbish? Like, that's kind of who you need in your corner. So I do get, you know,
it doesn't sound like you're making apologies here for capitalism.
You're
vulture capitalism.
You're sounding like Peter Jones from Dragon's Den, right?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to have a think about you, mate. I don't think you can be trusted in a combat situation.
When the zombie apocalypse comes,
everyone else is locked and loaded. Aiden's going, yeah, but should we really?
I can promise you, I absolutely should not be trusted in a combat situation. I would not know how to work it. Yeah.
No, not because of the guns, but you would be a great strategist, because if we're ever in a situation in like our personal group where someone's kind of like really fucked off about something, you bring an aid and they will be like, well, maybe, but you know, this is a diplomatic kind of. It comes to be so diplomatic and like calm and reasonable, and everyone goes, "Oh yeah, well maybe I shouldn't be pissed off, but I want to be pissed off.
I want to be pissed off." Being reasonable is not reasonable.
And then all of a sudden, grenade.
Yeah,
very reasonable. But again, I that thing about hedge funders, it's not the first time you've said that, and I see the point you're making, but I also worry about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're jackals.
That was a very mumsy kind of. Like,
I worry about you.
Hyenas. Yeah. That's what they are. Hyenas.
No, I was just kind of thinking about whether or not I'd have to, you know, buy aid.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, Phil.
Oh dear. Yeah.
So we got Darren Daily Blase has joined us. Hello, Darren. How you doing, mate?
Right? Not bad. It's proper Harry Mould up here. Oh,
proper what?
Jesus Christ!
He's just used Cockney rhyming slang on me.
Yeah.
I thought it was some Yorkshire stuff. I thought he was talking Yorkshire.
Well, that's what I usually say. Harry Mould. It's proper French carrot and two garden peas weather up here.
Oh,
wow. As someone recently back from Sweden, you can shut the fuck up.
Is it colder in Sweden?
No.
Oh, a little bit.
Right, bear with me a sec. I've got to sort these fucking idiots out. They're in my plant. So
brilliant.
I've already had it off the other side. So bear with me a second whilst I
They've already had it off.
They've already had it off. What?
No.
What?
Anyway,
look, we're supposed to be talking about what's been happening in the news this week.
Yes.
Post officers.
Well, let's just say this is the intro. You know, we're just
We're just shooting the shit.
Getting into it.
Okay, so the post office saga. Who wants to take this?
No.
For a little bit of context here.
So this has been going on now for 14 years. This was first uncovered by Computer Weekly and the Private Eye. It was first covered in around 2010, 2011. And it was this inordinate number of people who were working for the post office as contractors to the post office. So they were technically not working for the post office. They were contractors to it.
Subbies.
That's the way it worked for some reason, as a sub postmaster. And they were being accused of stealing between £500 and £500,000, depending on, how much stuff was going through. the post office, and all it was going through this system called Horizon, which was made by a company called Fujitsu, who are notorious at making absolutely shite products.
Yeah,
Right.
shit computers and really rubbish tellies.
Yeah, I love Tans in the background just shouting no.
Say it to them.
Bad Fujitsu, bad, naughty Fujitsu.
Tan's gone
doing that shit.
Tan's gone full Tourette's.
Yeah, but who's to blame for this? Well, it's either going to be Keir Starmer or Red Davey, isn't it?
Well, 700 people were charged, and just like the RSPCA, the post office can charge people. They can form a prosecution against people, and they did, and nobody apparently put two and two together to go, hang on, 700 people working for us have all cocked up in the same way with an accounting error that all looks quite similar to each other, and they had this absolute gobshite on in the COVID not COVID committee. What am I talking about? The post office inquiry, which has been going on for 3 years.
Yeah,
and obviously it just jumped into the stratosphere this week because of the drama. Mr. Bates versus Master Bates.
Are you talking about that smug twat that was in the select committee?
The Scouser, who
one
was
of your lot, mate. One of your lot,
the mafia.
One of your lot.
I know. Oh, mate, I watched that and I thought of handing in my Scouse card. I thought, that's it. I'm gonna have to talk like a mank from now on.
Isn't Nadine Dorries a Scouse?
Learn Welsh. She is.
Ginbrella.
Nadine Dorries and Esther McVeigh and Gillian Keegan.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And all purposely lost their accents to be more amenable to the general public.
That's what I should do. And Anne Robinson for the weakest link. She should be going, you are the weakest link.
You're
Fuck off. Fuck off.
Instead, she's
do you think if I talk a little bit like Jeeves, do you think I'll get further in life as well?
Yes. You just sound posh, so people will think
so Graham, if you want to get ahead in life, right, you're already like halfway there, being ginger.
Yes.
Now you need to speak like Margaret Thatcher, and you'll be on prime time TV.
Did you see Nedsom last night on Question Time looking like a colourblind Thatcher, like wearing like some Savile
who was this?
wingtip collared like suit thing?
Who was this?
Leadsom on Question Time.
Oh God, loathsome. Ugh.
She is fucking useless, mate.
She's
Honestly, I was
horrible.
sitting there at one point going, what the hell are you talking about? And even Lisa Nandy was like, it's like, you haven't been in power for 14 years. You're talking absolute mint. It was ridiculous. Yeah. It was like, there was like a room full of undecided voters in Oxford, because how can anyone be undecided at this point? Unless you've had like a
favorite. I don't know. Some people.
Right. An undecided voter in Oxford is a fucking liar.
My favourite one of this week, when it comes to Tory desperation, when it came to Opposition Day, when it came to the NHS dentistry, and you've got West Street going through the motions. Anthony Magnell jumped up and said, "Can you give way?" And it basically said the reason why everything's all a shit show is because of legislation passed in 2006 by the Labour government.
Of course.
What?
Oh, yes.
What?
2006.
Yes.
It's like they've not been in charge for the last 14 years. Thank you very much to Lee for the super chat. Sunak fishing for a Falklands bounce in Yemen. Yeah. We'll come on to that. We are bombing Yemen. So there you go. For years, we thought that was the Saudis' job, but apparently we have to do it now as well.
But historically, in their defence, of the government, it's always gone so well when we've intervened in the Middle East, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially
it's
militarily.
It's worked out perfectly. Why not do it again?
It's like the British Empire's fucking playground. Right.
Well, it's not just that. It's rich people can't get their trinkets because we've got the trade coming over, and there's a lot of very, very rich, powerful people who are going, hang on, I'm paying for my stuff to come from China, and it's not coming from China because Well,
I was sitting there. I was sitting on that there sofa, and I was sitting there thinking, right, so I'm 42. Okay.
No.
I know. It's fucking Clarins moisturiser.
Right.
I was going to say not 52.
You prick. Fucking stay here, you ragged old whore. And I was sitting there thinking, there's only been probably 3 years of my awoken life where we've not been in conflict with someone.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, we've got to always be in conflict with someone.
It's like, as soon as we drop from, oh, here we go. Fuck's sake,
All
what have they
went
done?
right, didn't he? In 1984, yeah.
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 I'm just waiting for Rishi Sunak to come out of number 10 dressed up as Maggie Thatcher or something.
You'd have to get a kid's costume.
Wig on as well.
I don't understand how he manages to have jack-ups when he's literally like, it's like, mate, how do you manage to have jack-ups?
It come out like a Bo Selector parody.
Who's this?
Sorry,
Rishi Sunak.
Sunak.
Little Rishi.
Little tiny Rishi.
Massive bunts on.
So
yes.
Yesterday I showed Tan the party political video that the Tories made yesterday. It was on the BBC website, and it said tax cuts. And Tan said, "Could you change that to say something else?" And I went, "All right." And I've used that as the thumbnail for today.
I am a bit worried though that people might think it was
when you can't see the whole thing, so you don't know exactly what it says. You don't know really what it says.
To change it to axe these.
No.
As in, like, get rid of them, like axe the policy. Get rid of it. Not like
On the thumbnail, you can't actually see what it all says, Tan. So let's just.
I did say to you, I can't ever post that because people will think that I'm inciting violence against MPs, which I'm not. I meant like axe the party, get rid of.
It's like when you see these videos on YouTube, especially ones that are made by Democrat supporters against the Republicans or vice versa, and it's always. John Oliver destroys, exterminates, smashes, eviscerates Trump or the Republicans or Marjorie Taylor Greene. You think, bloody hell, what's in this video? It's a British comedian pulling the guts out of a slightly annoying American woman.
Yeah, and you click on it and it's just someone saying, yeah, can you answer that question?
Yeah.
But can you answer that question? That's it.
It's clickbait, isn't it? But the thing is, you've got to be really careful with the language you use, haven't you? Because you post something like that, and then you'll have the old bill knocking on your door for incitement. And
but this is nothing new. Like I cast my mind back to when. Do you remember when Britney Spears' "Hit Me Baby One More Time" came out, and there was like the Christian right in America were like, "This is advocating."
Yes, I do remember it.
They were like, "This is advocating domestic violence, domestic abuse."
Like they care about that.
Hit me, baby. What? I was like,
and then
are you out of your mind?
She followed it up with "Slave for You." It's almost as if a man was writing her songs for her.
Almost.
But both of which kind of,
they were a Swedish man.
It's American society, really.
Bit problematic. It wasn't the guy from Ace of Base, was it? Who turned out to be a Nazi?
It was.
Ace of Base, All That I Need Is Another Baby.
Yeah.
The guy behind that is a massive Nazi.
Yeah,
and he always has been.
Wow.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
which bit like Billy Corgan's turned into a massive bloody conspiracy theorist nutcase.
Do you know what though? What makes me laugh is the fact that Ace of Base were taking music from this massive Nazi twat, and then they covered Aswad.
Well, that's like when you go to a Madness gig and all the Bother Boys turn up and you go, you do know this is black music that they're singing here? You do know this is Jamaican music? And
no, there's a massive crossover in that because there's a lot of old school skinheads that wear like the braces, the old DMs and the turned up Levi's and
two-toned Scarfellas.
Yeah, and they're all right. They're like proper like nice geezers.
Yeah.
And then you've got some people that wear the exact same fucking uniform and be complete see you next Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So it's like, as a mixed race geezer living in Basildon, you're like, are you all right? Oh no, yeah. What are we doing?
Yeah.
You don't know what you're gonna get.
Well, there's rap nowadays. Like I saw a thing on Channel 4 News the other night about as a drill rapper. I can't remember what his name is now. But I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The police he has to, before he releases a song, because they're associating his lyrics with violence, gang violence, he has to have his lyrics checked over by the police before he can release a song.
That's
Wow.
bollocks. That's proper fucking
He's a
There's your
real
nanny
rapper.
state right there.
Did you hear about that
lyrics,
law?
Literally.
Did you hear about that law that was like wheeled out in America where you can actually now use lyrical content as evidence?
Evidence, yeah. Yeah, I heard
Which is
about that.
wild.
Sorry, before we go any further, I just want to say a big thank you to Emma for the super chat. And she says, I'm disappointed Labour are supporting the bombing. I think it's a big mistake, which, can't argue with you. But
Yeah,
someone else has put in the chat that like they don't really have much of a choice in the matter because, because otherwise the Tories will use it as a wedge issue.
Because when America sneezes, we catch a fucking cold. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
But so
Stats
if we
to
pan
attention.
out of this a little bit, right? So the Houthi terror group, who everybody thinks is backed by Iran, they've been causing trouble, either hijacking oil tankers or like firing drone missiles at British warships and so on in that region. But are they actually like a serious threat to a British warship, or could a British warship or oil tanker just kind of ignore them?
Commercial ship. It's commercial ship.
Is it?
It's
Yeah, it's
all commercial
commercial.
ship.
And so have they been hijacked? Have they been like damaged or sunk, or is this like, basically what I'm trying to get to is, are we using a little bit of trouble and a few guys in dinghies?
An excuse. It's basically like the old Noam Chomsky thing, manufacturing consent. Because we need to get involved in some way, shape, or form. So we need a reason to get involved. And so we're using the Houthis to get involved in this. Like the fact that you've got two American aircraft carriers in that particular region already. Yeah. And we've sent a few people in there as well. And yeah, all of a sudden, we're letting these ships get hijacked by the Houthis. And it's only now that we step in. All the other ones, no, fuck them.
Yeah,
they've got a different flag on, so it's fine. But it just seems to be a nice war of convenience at the moment.
Do you know how much it costs? Like it said on Channel 4 News tonight that the kind of like the missiles, the kind of like intelligence, all that crap, it costs like they reckon the best part of £1 million just to do that strike.
Yep.
£1 million of our money that they can spend on bombing Yemen, but they can't spend on paying our nurses or our doctors or putting into dentistry so people are putting teeth out.
I'm surprised it's that low, to be honest. I would have thought it would be like 30 million, 50 million, or like
they said just that one kind of like targeted strike.
Right.
Yeah. And this is where the British media's hypocrisy comes in, because what they do is they sit there and they'll say like it costs X amount to launch this particular missile into this particular land, and we're doing it we're attacking a foreign nation. But as soon as, like, say for instance, Israel allegedly took out someone in Lebanon. Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. But we're blowing the fuck up out of anyone.
Yeah.
Carte blanche. Don't care. But there's no criticism of us doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
He's got no fucking mandate for it either. He's not even like, he was the replacement for the woman. The replacement. He was the replacement of the replacement who won via raffle. It's like, and he's like making the executive decision now to put us into a war. How have they got away with not having an election? It's unbelievable to me that they've managed to get away with not having an election.
They changed the rules, didn't they? The Fixed Term Parliament Act.
Yeah.
So they get to decide
considering
now
the disgrace,
they want it.
The economy crashing, and now Little Jacobs is going like full bloody warmonger.
Here's the goalpost. We're just going to move it over here.
Wait.
I've just finally got the picture right. So big shout out to Scott. Hey Scott, how you doing, mate? Good to have you back.
Hey,
I
here he
famously
is.
banned Scott for life by accident because I clicked on the wrong thing and he couldn't get
Mm.
back in. And I felt
You
so bad.
monster.
That's a lot, you know. That's a lot.
I know someone that's banned for life for Morrison's.
Scott,
What
So
the
I
fuck
told
are
you
they
not to
doing,
tell anyone
Morrison's
about
Tan?
that, Tan.
so
Huh?
Scott, are you still bitter at Graham for that particular banning?
No.
I cry myself
Oh, I
to
just
sleep
don't
at night.
understand why. Well, I understand why. Apparently, it was his
I'm
OCD.
a terrible person.
God, trying to train these two is doing
No,
my fucking nutting, man. I got woken up by a cat's anus like that close to my face.
Charming.
Charming.
Cats just know what you need. They
Yeah.
just come in and
Honestly, I've
give you-
forgotten how much hard work it is, and I've got like paper thin patience, and it's like you're cute, but not that cute to get away.
Are their claws at the point where they actually hurt when they dig in you?
Yes, they are, because I had the
man.
full length of me climbed in the kitchen yesterday.
Excellent. Good
Like
stuff.
right up my back, up my
Yeah.
my tights were shredded. It's just honestly, I've had kittens before, but these are probably the most mental kittens I've ever had in my life. Like it's like they've got ADHD and they've done a bag of bloody Charlie Sheen, and they're just like.
Tan, can I just one up you quickly before we carry on?
I see your two cute kittens, and I give you.
Where I was staying in Sweden, my pod mate has.
You're in Sweden?
30. Yeah, I was in Sweden. No, not now.
Oh, right.
No. They have 13 cats, and I was sleeping on the sofa, and I suffer from what do you call it? Not sleep apnea. Well, you can't fucking move.
Not paralysis.
Sleep paralysis.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Right, and every night, because I'm keeping on the sofa, I've got at least 2 cats crawling on me.
Oh my fucking God.
And the cat that I've adopted, little Bellamy, she was eating my toe, and I couldn't.
Oh my God.
At least it was your toe.
She's
We've got
sitting
some
there.
stories coming in the chat here. We've got David saying, I woke up the other day wearing the dog's tail like a moustache. We've got Unquiet Spirit just saying, look at my starfish, mum.
That is probably one of the grimmest things I've ever heard typed in life or heard out loud.
Your cat's a Limp Bizkit fan.
Fuck's
Well,
sake.
I've said that's the premise.
That sounds like the kind of thing someone would say in prison.
Duke is saying, I'm training a puppy right now and he's a ball of relentless golden energy. Sounds about right.
Well, yeah, puppies are like not as actually annoying as cats. Like they're just a bit dimmer than cats. Cats know how to piss you off and they'll do it, whereas a dog will just think you're its parent immediately. Like this one, I mean, they'll know that they're not allowed to do something and they'll keep doing it.
They don't know.
Keep
They
doing
don't
it
know
till I
they're
lose my
cats.
rag.
But they're cats. They
Oh,
don't
great,
know.
Now the
I
cat
love-
is on top of a mirror that is going to probably fall
Just
down.
because you told them doesn't mean they know. They're cats.
I love the incredulity of Scott there. He's like, they don't know. They're
They don't
cats.
know, 'cause they're
I know
cats.
they
They
don't
know I
know.
understand English.
Leave Brittany
Pull yourself
alone!
together.
I know they're
Cats
doing
alone.
something wrong, Scott, because as soon as I get up and disturb myself, they will fucking leg it. So they know they'll do that face and then they'll
They're
just look at me
frightened
and
of you
carry
'cause they're
on
cats.
doing it.
Tan,
Huh?
I would like to point you to series 1 of Red Dwarf, and you'll see what cats are like in a human form.
I know Red Dwarf, man.
That's man. This is man.
That's mine. That's mine. That's mine. That's mine. Beard. Yeah, no, I know exactly what honestly, but they're just mental. Like they are just actually like just wearing me down. Like I can't get anything done. Oh, now they've found a bauble. Now they've found a
A
bauble.
bauble hat. It's fucking January.
I can see what's going to happen soon. I've just got this my juvenile sense of humour. I could see that plant behind you, Tan. I can just see that cat looking at you, with its paw on it, just slightly nudging it, looking at you,
Go that one.
and you're going, no, looking at you and say, yes. See you later.
And then as it crashes down on the floor, going like, what? I didn't do it.
It's why I love cats, but it's also why they do my head in. That's the annoying thing about it.
If they didn't do your head in, you wouldn't love them so much.
Actually, if they didn't have parasites in their feces, I probably wouldn't love them so much. They train you. No. There is a thing. There's a theory about there's a kind of a particular type of parasite that if you come into contact with like cat's poop or something,
Kids can go blind.
Well, that's toxoplasmosis, but there's a different parasite which can actually cause an array of neurological symptoms, one of which is tolerating their bullshit, I think. But no, it is a thing. There is a thing. Look it up. I can't be asked to. I've not got any fucks left. I'm run ragged. I feel like the mother of hairy twins.
Tan, did you just basically say do your own research?
Just because I can't be asked. Just because I can't be bothered anymore. Like I just.
But it's the weekend, miss. It's the weekend. I don't want to do any homework.
I love when people try and tell me stuff and they say do your own research, and I say, especially if it's to do with politics, and I'm like, I got a degree in politics. And like, yeah, but you got to do. I'm like, I've been to every country in the world, and they're like,
Island dickhead.
Yeah, but do you read the Daily Mail?
Oh, of course.
Like, so when people go, this is something that bothers me. People go, I'm entitled to my own opinion, but then their opinion is the opinion of the Daily Mail. It's not their opinion, and I don't think they're entitled to it.
Opinion's not fact. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but I'm also entitled to say you're talking bollocks because of these facts.
Yeah, but it's not even their opinion.
Hello, Ben Shapiro.
They're just repeating something that they've read.
There was a guy that on Twitter, like yesterday, where I was trying to hold my nerve with him and engage rationally. And he was saying something like trying to defend Brexit by saying, oh, everyone cares about immigration, right? And I was like, no, they've been told that they care about immigration and they've been conned by like, people doing the bidding of millionaires. And then I was like, all right then, mate, prove it, prove the stats you're coming up with. And he actually almost did word for word like the Stuart Lee sketch, which is like, oh, well, you can prove anything with facts, can't you? He was like, literally, it was literally like the biggest taxi driver sketch. It was unbelievable. And I actually like laughed out loud reading it. You lefties all the same. I was like, yeah, mate, sorry for trying to make you learn something. It was unbelievable. He because I asked him to prove something beyond the anecdotal, his brain just went, and I was being very decent with him, considering how mad he was. And I was just literally just trying to give him the reality of the situation. And he just wouldn't accept it. Like
Wayne's right. It's all about ego. It's not about intelligence or knowledge or anything. It's just like people just can't believe that they could possibly be wrong about anything.
I have a rogue card here, and I would like to ask.
Okay, just before you ask it, Wayne, thank you very much to Captain Bart Roberts. Did you get to Antarctica, Graham? No, I didn't. I didn't. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, Scott, you just freaked me out then. For some reason in my brain, right? For some reason in my brain, I thought you were behind me, and I don't know why. Something went weird, and I just thought you were looming out the bloody door.
Oh,
no. Half lines up with my door there, and it was like, oh.
Tan, you've got some issues because you last time we was on, you was fearing that someone was going to come out my doorway here and come and get me.
It's classic horror film stuff nowadays.
It's the 3-second rule, isn't it?
All I can say is I hope nobody opens my door then.
Someone did open your door last time.
What is Scott doing? He's kind of... What are you doing, Scott?
Scott, you haven't still got those weird Michael Jackson heads in there, have you?
What? Michael Jackson heads?
No, I have.
Come on, I want the mystery hour question.
Okay,
Wayne's got, this is from Christmas.
Yeah, this is from Christmas. It's literally
he found it under his pillow when he woke up.
The only one that I've not put away. Why are men much more likely to be colorblind? Okay, so we've got 2 answers.
Yes.
It's evolutionary from cavemen. Men hunted animals while women foraged. As
That's
women
a fallacy. Sorry.
as women needed to know which berries were poisonous, they grew resistance to the colour blindness gene. The second answer is the colour blindness gene attaches itself to the X chromosome. Men only have the X chromosome, whereas women need the defective gene on both X chromosome for it to take effect. So which answer is correct?
I think B, because A is, I think, A is a fallacy, because women, it's been proven that women actually not just engaged in wars, but hunted alongside men, and they weren't just foragers. I learned that watching a documentary about kind of Stonehenge and the skulls that they found, which showed that women engaged in battle, which meant that they would have also hunted, and there was evidence of women having hunted. So I would probably go with the second one.
Second one. Anyone else?
Yeah, I zoned out for the second explanation, but I'm going to go for it anyway.
I have a funny feeling here.
Okay. Aid?
I'll go for the first one just to be a contrarian to Tans.
Oh,
Scott, what does Scott think? Scott! Oh,
Hold on, I'm looking for my earphone.
It's all right, man.
Is that what you call it?
That's what they all say. That's what they all say.
Scott sounds like he's just reached the end of his tether this week. It's a cat. I gotta find my earphones.
It's like that.
Fuck you all.
Face down, butt up. Got to find my earphones.
We've all been for it.
Graham said the sound quality was bad, so I was trying to fix it.
It's not that bad.
Someone said in the chat it sounded like the voice through the pipes in 12 Monkeys.
I think we were going to say Pipes is in the glory hole from the old.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Tan.
I'm talking about bloody Ghostwatch.
I know all about.
There was no glory hole in Ghostwatch.
Didn't they say Pipes is in the glory hole or something?
No, a glory hole's when you have a hole
I
in a
know
cubicle.
what a
so you
fucking
stick your
glory
knob
hole
through
is.
it.
Oh, do you now, Tan?
Everyone knows what a glory hole is.
My
know better
mum
than
probably
all of you.
doesn't, and she's probably watching this. So,
Oh,
Was
hi
there-
there,
can we
there-
get an answer on the whole?
Who's watching? Whose mom's
Right,
watching?
okay.
Was there a glory hole in
right.
the
This is like
Crystal
Who Wants to Be a
Maze?
Millionaire, where it takes them an hour to answer
wants
the
to be in
bloody
a glory
question.
hole?
It's so frustrating.
Right.
Can't watch it.
The correct answer is B.
Oh,
So
yes.
Tan was bang on.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
What does she win?
Yeah, gutted, Aid, with your sexism. And what did you go for, Mr. Blase?
I thought only for the simple
Of
reason I
course you
once heard
did.
because
Sexist.
Sexist.
I just heard
Misogynist.
a former
Woman hater.
question on there. You know where somebody rung in? Why is it men can't spot out accidents better than women? You know when
What?
you know when say you're walking down the street and you're with your beloved and they'd say you'd
What
see
accident?
you know they'd see
Out.
potential accidents coming.
What, like Sixth Sense?
Yeah, something like that.
There's been an
And then when he
accident.
mentioned it, it just kind of reminded
Women
me
do
of
not
that.
have
So that's the
magical
only reason
powers.
why I went for it, really.
And it's not the fact you hate women, no?
I'm
Joking.
Right.
I'm joking.
Incidental.
God.
Test them.
Incidental.
Hate the lot of them.
This is why I'm question master.
This is self-deprecating humour. It's not literal just because I got knockers. The thing about the answer, you should look into it. It's quite interesting, actually. Women were badasses back in the day.
Well, also in the animal kingdom, females who do a lot of the hunting.
Yeah, especially like
Lions, women do all the hunting. Men sit around having sex
It's
with
only
each other.
in
sit around growing afros.
Yeah, and having sex with each other while the women are away. Hey boys, the girls are away.
Oh,
What should we do? I know, each other.
I like your mane. Oh, come here, big boy.
True story.
your main.
Wait,
It's
stop.
capitalism basically subjugated women massively. Like, because in the war, women were part of, like, they went into and they did like all the men's jobs, and then when the 50s came, it was like back in the kitchen, bitch. And
Stop playing football.
Yeah,
Stop playing football.
But we invented you but we
You're
invented
getting
you
too
like
popular.
loads of nice like utensils and accessories. So
Make it easier.
be grateful.
I
Tan's
wish
not
someone would
having it.
ask me to make them a sandwich because I would fill it with my own piss.
Oh, Jesus.
Sandwich.
Yeah, I'll make you a sandwich. It'll be soggy.
Right. Graham, timestamp that and get a fucking clip of that.
No.
What do
It'd
you
be the
mean?
soggiest sandwich, though, wouldn't it? It'd be well soggy.
Here's me
Exactly.
considering, like, maybe wearing a shirt or a tie or something when I do me little podcast things, to try and make the channel seem a little bit more upmarket. And then sitting here talking about glory holes and piss sandwiches.
Pipes is in the glory hole.
Piss pies. Piss pies. Be accurate.
A glory hole in
Aren't we supposed
Scotland
to
is a
talk about
small
labour
cupboard.
things?
Oh my God, there's a joke there, isn't there? Pete's Music has just said a glory hole in Scotland is a small cupboard. Could you imagine? I went round to me nan's the other day and she had a lovely glory hole right in her bathroom. She had it right next to the toilet. It was.
Oh my God, I'm right. In Ghostwatch, they do say that they call the downstairs house's basement the glory hole. I don't know why they call it that. It was like this family, because it was like based on the Enfield Haunting, wasn't it? Like Ghostwatch. Where did you remember Ghostwatch? Do you know what I'm even talking about?
Tan, everyone in my generation was scarred for life by Ghostwatch.
I was until it got mad at the end. Where
we would like to forget it, but it just won't let us.
My God, that brings back memories. Does that? The ending. I remember when it ended. When you hear all them cats making all that racket at the end. I watched it at my mate's house, and then when it finished, I was walking home. I could hear loads of cats fighting.
Oh no!
Cats making racket. You're going to trigger 10 now.
Just so you know, Ghostwatch was a fake documentary that was on BBC One on Halloween in the late 80s, and it featured loads of people off kids' TV. Sarah Green was on it. Mike Thingy, her husband.
Craig Charles.
Yeah. Craig Charles was on it.
It was,
And bloody Parkinson was on it, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the one that was the guy in the kind of like the makeshift studio that was kind of like reporting to and from the house. It was really well done.
It was a drama, but they made out that it was real.
And live.
And live. And at the end of it, the ghost came out. Have you seen Paranormal Activity? It was a bit like that. But you didn't know whether it was real or not, especially if you were 8 years old at the time.
Didn't the BBC do something later on, and they had like Dale Winton and someone else being Pamela Anderson's dad or something like that?
What?
I think that was just a fever dream.
That does
No. I'm going to find it.
Dale Winton was Pamela Anderson's dad.
Yeah, no. It was
like
Google.
Dirty film.
I've got to see this.
That sounds like a mucky film.
That's a right combination.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to find it.
No, but Wayne, before you do, we have an answer for your colourblind question from Andy Thompson. Thank you very much for the super chat, Andy. You are a gentleman. Men are more likely to be colourblind because Keir Starmer had a curry during lockdown. Fact.
Oh God, yeah, he was also responsible for that.
Do you know what? That's
a
supplementary answer on this.
And the Great Fire of London.
And the Great Fire of London, which
started in Pudding Lane because Keir Starmer had a curry.
Has he ever said where he was in Pudding Lane that night? I don't think he has. I don't think he has.
We need to have a public inquiry about that.
Yeah.
Captain Bart Roberts is asking why I'm on Everest. No, this is Antarctica. Someone's asked me if I've ever been to Antarctica, and the answer is no. And I could be virtually in Antarctica, and you'll never know.
I thought you went to like every country in the world or something.
Scott, what the fuck has happened to your voice, mate?
I don't know. It's been like this all day.
It's a cat.
You sound like, what's his name? That guy in the Simpsons episode, Carl. Homer. What's his name? The guy that plays Carl in the Simpsons.
Marge.
No, not Marge.
Yeah, I sound more like Marge.
You sound like Marge now. The woman who does the voice for Marge. If you've watched any recent episodes of The Simpsons, her voice is gone. It's gone. It's
But I'm not surprised because she's been talking like a madman for like most of her life. Harvey Fierstein plays. That's exactly who you sound like.
Oh, I know Harvey Fierstein.
Carl. It was Carl. Was Homer's assistant that kind of spurred him on, that loved him. That's who you.
Yeah, he's a gay actor, isn't he?
Yeah, that's who that is.
Yeah.
Also, you sound like you're cutting a promo for WWE.
I tell you, Lou.
We can smell what The Rock is cooking, and he's cooking like a mad voice right now.
What The Rock is cooking, and it's bacon.
Yeah. If you've got like a list of people that you've fallen out with that you would like to scare, then now would be a good time.
Do it,
Oh,
yeah, do it now. Do it now.
Send them a voice note. Like, I remember you, bitch. Like,
I want Scott to come and do the voiceover for my trailer.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be good.
It was a time of war.
Yeah.
It was a time of
No,
hero.
no.
It was a time of war and heroes.
World.
War and heroes coming soon.
Coming down to a theater near you.
Just have Scott say, fuck you, bitch.
Do you know why they don't do the voiceover guy in trailers anymore?
why is that?
Because he died.
Oh,
was just
no.
saying,
One guy who
There's a
did
guy-
all the
there's a guy-
voiceovers and he
Guy
died.
called, was it Red Pepper or something like that?
Red
Can't
Bull.
Was that his name?
But
Yeah,
he died about
Red
15
Pepper or
years
something
ago,
like that.
and
Oh, he said
since
Red
then,
Booker. I was like, what?
I
you don't have the
assumed
voiceover.
like it was a change of style.
No.
no,
There
he
can't
died.
just be
Just
one
died.
guy that has
It was a
voiceover.
forced change of style. They were like, we need the voiceover guy. Do the
Oh,
voiceover.
so
for
what
our
we're
trailer."
saying-
Oh, he's dead, so we're just gonna leave it out now.
Yeah,
forever.
and now
So
it just has to be a and you have to have like something come up on the screen, and then it just shows it.
So
slowly
what
going
we're saying is
backwards.
that like now that we've got AI and deep fake, they'll just like AI audio his
You
voice.
fucking
Oh my
We'll
god,
be
that'd
back
be
to
so
it again.
cool.
They bring it back.
No,
I think
It's
they should
absolute bedlam in here tonight.
hold
Tom's
up,
just
hold
gonna
up.
have to attend to a cat. Wayne
He's,
is
he's still
losing it.
alive. A guy called Red Pepper. He's born in 1961.
Right.
I think he's still alive from what I can see.
no. The voiceover guy died.
He might be alive, but just like out of his mind, sort of thing.
No, he
maybe.
died. He died.
I think it should replace his voice for Joe Pasquale. It's just for hell of it.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm supportive of that.
Yeah,
Yes.
his name is Richard Green, known professionally as Red Pepper.
No,
Right.
it was Don LaFontaine.
Oh,
Don
okay.
LaFontaine. That was the name of the guy.
I mean, I'd be
And
happy
he
to
died
step
in
in.
Yeah,
2008.
With his unusually deep voice, with a vocal style similar to Don LaFontaine. Red
Ah,
Pepper, that's the
right.
guy that I was thinking of.
Okay, I was thinking of Don LaFontaine, who died 16 years ago.
No.
No, says Tam.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's
no.
but that's
Man,
like
they don't understand the word no.
13.5 years ago.
who's your man? Who's your man who does all the boxing intros? You know, let's get ready to rumble. Right,
Get ready to rumble.
he's been around forever.
Yeah.
Is that an American one or British?
Yeah,
one?
he's American.
Yes.
Don't they? I feel like there's a few of them, and they just all copy each other.
No, there were two brothers.
Right.
But the younger one is the one that's more prominent.
Right.
Does all of like the Las Vegas fights, does all the Saudi Arabian fights and the Wembley fights as well.
Right.
But
In the corner, weighing 250 pounds.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's exactly. He gets paid silly money for about 3 minutes work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To rouse the crowd out.
Just to jump in and say thank you very much for the super chats from Ryan Brown, who says, if you've got colour blindness, go to Barnard Castle, which is only about 45 minutes
Yeah.
drive from me.
I love
Yeah.
how the
Well
audience,
played. Well played.
I
That's
love how the
He
audience
actually-
is actually trying to bring it back to politics.
He
Thank you.
use the book on that, the spec ciphers thing.
And MJ Nichols, thank you very much for the super chat. Can I invite the panel to gratuitously insult the odious toad Michael Gove? Cheers and keep up the good work. So if everyone wants to just join in and just
Get
roast
glasses.
Well,
Michael
Dan's got
Gove.
the best nickname for him.
What, in his secret sex lips?
No, you call him Gecky Go.
hold up.
I call him
Gaki
Gaki
Gove.
Gove. I also call him Pob.
Gaki Gove. Oh, Pob. Yeah.
Ten. Where secret sex lips? Where do you get it from?
That's from
Yeah, he does
Deadpool
have
2.
blowjob lips.
That's from Deadpool 2 when he goes to the kind of children's kind of like care home, and there's one of the assistants, and he has got. And he goes, "We've heard enough from you, and your secret sex lips." It's Deadpool, the assistant, and I clipped it into one of my videos because Gove has got secret sex lips.
Oh God, he's horrific.
No,
Well,
but he has got blowjob lips though.
Josh has just sent
And carpet
us-
burns on his head.
Josh, I hope Josh doesn't want to use his WhatsApp tonight because I'm using his WhatsApp. I should have asked.
What do you mean
Sorry,
his
Josh, if you're
WhatsApp?
watching. He's just texted. Basically, Tommy Robinson and Mike Graham are having a spat on Twitter right now.
No.
Well, that place truly is
Mike- Mike
A
Graham said,
real meeting of the minds.
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
saying about Tommy Robinson, because he's a nasty little individual, I have no time for him.
Mike
To which
Graham?
Tommy Robinson forwarded the message and said, Mike the coward Graham. And then Mike Graham responded, are you going to threaten me again, Steve? Do fuck off.
Ooh.
Tommy 10 names.
This is like when you're in the pub and like
Where's my handbag?
two guys who shouldn't fight start squaring up against each other. Like when they're angry. When they're angry and it sounds like if I lose my rag, I reckon I can swear like quite aggressively. And if this guy over here, like, but then when somebody who's not used to being angry gets angry, it's like, do you keep it up again, you shitting tosser? It's like you need to learn how to be angry.
Hey, to your point, I guarantee this is the scenario that you've always seen in a pub, right? Someone shoving someone, and then the other geezer shoves them back, and they're just waiting for their mates to hold them back.
Yeah, hold me back. Hold me back, Eddie.
They just sit there going, now I want to see how this one pans out. I mean,
yeah. If it weren't for these, like, I'd have fucked you up. Yeah, you prick. Yeah.
Can you imagine Tommy Robinson though? He's tiny Tommy, right?
Tiny
Up
Timmy
against,
Tommy.
like, massive. What's his name?
Timmy
I mean, not massive as in bulky, like muscly. He's just like a large lad. One of them is like tiny and can barely probably punch, and the other one can't run. Can you imagine how it would work out?
Who's Mike? What's his face? Who's Mike?
He's the one who thinks you
He's
can
a
grow
concrete
concrete.
farmer.
Yeah.
He's the one who did that weird like rabbit impression thing. Like
he's a right wing shock jock on live radio, whatever it's called.
Concrete farmer.
Talk TV,
rather
talk
large
TV
cheek.
radio, talk radio.
Wait,
And,
is he the guy that does the?
He's a nasty piece of work, and he's the guy who said you could grow concrete.
He's as thick as mince.
Yeah.
Anyway, he
is
came.
the
Tommy
big
Robinson.
guy?
Tommy Robinson came back and said, "I'm talking about a debate, Mike. Don't be a pansy." To which Mike Graham responded.
Wow, why not throw in some homophobia?
To this, Mike Graham responded, "You couldn't debate a bloody cat, mate. You're yesterday's man. Give it up. No one cares what you think."
That's because cats don't understand English.
I think my cat would probably do a better job, to be honest with you.
Ooh.
Scott says that whilst 10 is holding a cat.
They don't speak English, and that's when you say no to the 10. They don't listen. They don't care.
No,
'cause
they
they're
know
like,
tone of voice, and they know like if you make big eyes at them that they're in trouble. So there's a way of communicating with them where they know right from wrong, and it's just in its tone of voice and it's like the intonation. They know their names.
Yeah.
They don't know what it means necessarily. They just know not to do it. It's like a. That's all you can do. You can't go around slapping cats about or doing anything like that.
Why not? No, I'm joking.
I could never
Don't slap the
hurt.
cat.
No, don't make
Slap the
that
cat.
joke. Don't make
Yeah.
that joke.
Or put them in the wheelie bin.
What was that? Someone came
If
up with
this
that
was-
retro joke on my Keir Starmer thread saying, yeah, Keir Starmer was the guy that put the cat in the wheelie bin. It was like that. Remember that? Why did you do that?
Yeah.
She was just walking along and she saw a cat and she thought, I'm going to put that in the wheelie bin.
Why? I mean, to be honest with you, tonight I can kind of understand why.
She was done with cats, Tan. She was absolutely done with cats. The cat's got to go.
The worst thing was, like, the cat didn't do anything. She approached the cat and she grabbed the cat, and then she grabbed it by the scruff of the neck, went boom, in you go. Ta-da.
That cat was actually lucky to survive that.
Well,
because,
yeah,
like,
exactly. That was just some people are just psychos. What could you do? Brad, thank you very much for the super chat. We've got some great chat stuff coming in. Brad says Labour's poll lead is so high. Gove asked for their dealer's number.
Very good.
And Jez has put a super chat in there with Glory Gove, which I don't really want to think about.
Oh, what if he was?
Can I
on the
just-
other end?
And-
Can we
and
just-
Emma
glory hole.
Emma
You don't
Price
even have
says,
waves
Tan, I
nowadays.
feel a Benny Hill sketch coming on. So, yeah, sorry, yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, like the reason that he was sort of in the news or in the consciousness this week was because he appeared on an interview with like a carpet burn on his forehead, right?
Yes. Like you've been worshipping Allah.
Has he given an explanation for that yet, or has anyone come up
And
with
it
an educated guess that's innocent? Or
On his nose as well. It looked like he had like hit the deck pretty hard.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, I don't know if it would be a carpet burn because I mean I don't know.
I
Like
think a carpet burn on your head.
I mean I've heard the rumours about
A
Gove.
carpet burn on your head means only one thing, really. I mean,
Bottom.
Somebody's really hate fucked you hard.
Scott's right in there.
Bottom.
To be fair, like if ever there was a person that was going to get hate fucked, it would be Michael Gove, right? Like, but, like
we've all been there.
He's not top of the tops.
No, he doesn't strike me as a top. No.
So this is Starmer's got the carpet burn on his head.
I thought you were going to say this is Starmer that did it to him, and I was going to go, yes, way.
No, this is Gove. Michael Gove has a carpet burn on his head.
Starmer hates Gove. Is
I
that
don't know
what you're
why.
saying,
No, sorry.
Starmer doesn't give up bottom.
I'll set
We've got
them up
some
for you, Wayne,
suggestions.
knock 'em
It
down.
doesn't give
We've got his
No, he
gimp
doesn't.
mask
He
was
gives
too
confidence.
tight. He was being whipped by his mistress or master.
Yeah.
And Vendetta says it's his syphilis seeping through. We shouldn't laugh, but we will.
No, I'm joking.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. And Captain Bart Roberts says, Tan, people who hurt others are beyond me as well. Thank you very much for the super chat there, Captain.
In fact, let's Graham, can you set up a poll? Like, how did Gove get the burn on his head?
You'd have to offer options, though, wouldn't you? Like
Bottom.
a rough bottoming, possibly.
Sexual,
Okay.
sexual or accident?
Sexual accident. A sexual
Sexual
accident.
accident?
Sorry, I
That sounds
can't
like a
remember
rape
today. I've had a
defense.
sexual accident. Again.
Okay, so
we've all
what are the options? Sexual accidents, yeah?
You know what? Like,
And
what's
what's the
wild?
next one?
Sexual accident or other?
Worshipping
Allah.
Allah.
You know,
Oh, come on. That's a bit.
Oh,
wait,
no,
hang
no,
on.
no,
Wait.
no,
How are you
no.
going to do the poll and not have hate fuck on there? Like, hate fuck and face down into the rug is
You think
option
maybe-
one.
Well, that's
Option
covered
one.
in sexual
Some people
accidents,
hate-
isn't it?
Yeah, because that doesn't sound like an
That's
accident,
fine.
though. That sounds intentional.
Wrong glory hole.
Okay, all right. Okay, so hate fuck is one of
Oh
the
my
options.
god.
So we've got sexual accident, worshipping Allah, hate fuck, too much gack.
I don't think that second one should be on there, mate.
Sniffing a line on the carpet.
I think he did a line and then he just fell over face first.
I don't think that second one should be on there. I don't
Okay.
think that's cool.
All right. Just vigorously worshipping.
Walked into a cupboard.
Okay.
That just sounds like a kind of sad excuse for like him trying to cover up for being slapped
Yeah.
out Sarah Vine.
Walked into something
Yeah.
Yeah.
while high.
Why?
There you go. Okay,
I love the way
there
you're
are your
just like,
options.
yeah, that's coming
There
on
we
the
go.
list.
So we got
All right. Yeah.
sexual accidents, walked into something while high, hate fuck, or too much gack. So
You know what? Like,
All
wilds
of
me
the
out about
above.
this.
You got to add all of the above.
Oh, I can't change it now. I've already
Okay,
it's done,
comment
it's done,
if you
it's
think
done.
all of the above. Like, comment if you think that it is all of the above.
We've got.
being
I
up
mean,
by
sexual
Jonathan
accident
Gullis.
and hate fuck are going through the roof here. We got them at 70% between them.
Okay, all right.
But
Can I
do you know
vote
what?
on this, actually?
Do you know what wilds me out about this? It's like, so if you're having an interview with Michael Gove and he pops on the Skype link or whatever, and the first thing that you see is a carpet burn, what looks like a carpet burn across, or maybe a really vicious case of like impetigo, like hitting his face, but like
on your head.
yeah, like on your, I've had impetigo. It's like went all over my face.
Yeah, it's like rosacea can do it
It's
as well.
horrible.
Like.
But like, if you saw like Michael Gove appear on the, wouldn't the first question of that interview be
What the hell happened?
like, what's up with your face, man?
What happened?
Yeah.
How'd you
Like,
get
you're
that?
not going to skip that. Like, there's a
No.
rule number
At the
one.
bottom.
Actually, rule number one with comedy. Rule number one with comedy is you don't punch down. But rule number two is address the elephant in the room. So if you're on a stage and a waitress drops a load of
Very
glasses,
funny,
you
though.
have to acknowledge the fact that she's dropped all the glasses, or the audience are going to be looking over at the waitress, and it will be weird that you didn't talk about the thing that happened, right? So if you're interviewing Michael Gove, I think the same rule should apply. It should be like, everyone's going to be looking at your face, bro. Like, you need to tell
Okay,
us what happened to your face.
Does anyone want to vote still? We've got 47 votes, 50 votes.
Come
We've got
on.
50 votes in. Anyone? We've got
Come
5
on,
seconds
come on,
left.
come
No,
on,
don't forget to
go.
comment
Vote in the
if you
chat.
think It's
If you
all
want to
of the
vote and
above.
you can't, you got to subscribe and then wait a minute, so you're in trouble. But we're looking at the scores on the doors. Judge doors are sexual accident is winning 40%. Walked into something while high at 22%, just changed. Hate fuck is at 25%,
I'm
and too much
surprised by
gag
that.
is at 14%.
What?
So-
What's at 40%?
Sexual accident.
So the bottom one is Gove. No, the bottom one is
Too much gag. Too much gag is at 13%.
Too much gag. Okay.
Walked into
well,
something while high is 25%. Hate fuck is 24%. So
walking
it's
into
all
something
to play
high-
for second place.
Walking
Got
into something
57
while high is
votes.
too much gag, though.
Sorry?
Walking into something whilst high is when you've had too much gag.
No, but what I thought was that he'd had so
No,
much
that
that he
doesn't-
just
doesn't
kind
mean
of
that.
he just kind of toppled over. Do you know what I mean? He just kind of like face planted.
That doesn't mean that because you can never have too much gag.
By the way, sexual accidents sound like a fucking band that are playing in the live lounge next
Oh,
week.
that's Graham's follow-up band, The Tantric Now.
I think
Sexual
before-
accident, wasn't
So
it?
there you go.
I think-
The final scores on the doors: 62 votes. Sexual accidents, 40%. Walked into something while high, 24%. Hate fuck, 20%. Too much gag, 14%. So thank you very much for everyone who voted in that poll.
Did anyone
And
vote
do you
for
think he had a
other?
sexual accident?
Did
No,
anyone
Also-
he couldn't put the other on.
Big shout out to questionable obscenity. Scott needs to watch Love, Death and Robots, 3 robots, and he also says needs to
Oh
say
shit! No, Freddie,
90.
no.
how was it? Good
No, no,
drugs,
no,
lots
no,
of
no.
pussy. I
What?
got no idea what that's about, mate.
It's probably-
Questionable obscenity has got things like
Yeah,
to say in
probably
your
to
voice.
do something about cats.
I think my cat has just accidentally drank a little bit of Captain Morgan's.
Oh,
Get
No,
in.
that'll be quiet.
That's my cat.
Get in.
That's my
That'll
cat.
calm him down.
Calm him down.
It was like a tiny little dribble bit, but literally just straight on it, like
That'll
Gove on a,
fucking
Yeah, he'll calm him down. He'll go to
like
bed.
Gove on a CD case. He was just like right
Wow.
there.
The
Hoovered
cat's
it
gonna
up.
wake up tomorrow with a carpet burn like on the head.
Yeah.
Right,
And then we'll
right.
know
I have no
what
idea
happened.
why.
People, should we get back on topic and talk about politics instead
Oh,
of?
we have
Yes.
to.
Well, Emma's just dropped a super chat. While high, not something Vishy can say. Boom, boom. Because he's only little.
Be short. Yeah, yeah.
No, because it is a
Fine.
legit Oompa Loompa.
Miniature.
He's a tiny little fellow.
It's a tiny
From the woods.
your pocket.
It's our little prime miniature.
And this is
He's
my
very-
Take him out your
He's
pocket.
not
Blow off the fluff.
He's a bloody squatter.
Put him
That's
on
what
the
he is.
table.
They're not
Yeah.
the
He's
good
just
kind
squatting
that
in
have
number 10.
braids.
He just
He's
won't
a-
move.
What subject did you want to talk about, Wayne? I want to hear it.
Yeah, come on, Wayne. You're controlling.
Wayne,
Oh,
come
no,
on.
no, no,
Be sensible.
Okay, right. So,
Stop dicking about.
okay, I want to talk specifically about the Gaza Palestine
Oh,
conflict.
mate, really?
Oh, God,
No,
Jesus.
no, 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 no. But,
Oh, we're having a nice time.
specifically about that twat Elon what's his chops, who was on with Tom Swarbrick the other day.
Elon
course.
Musk was
Yeah,
on
but
with
that's
Tom
specific.
Swarbrick?
I didn't see that, man.
Huh?
Elon
see
Musk.
Should do a
Elon Musk
poll.
talked to
Should do a
Tom
poll.
No, 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 no,
Swarbrick?
no, 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 no. His name is Elon. I forget his
There's
surname.
another Elon.
There's another
There's
Elon.
another
I
Elon.
thought there could be only Elon.
He's the geezer.
It could
They
be only Elon.
I thought he was the Elon and only.
he's the
And you can't take that away from him.
You can't take that away from him.
he's the
I
government.
Hey,
fucking hope
spokesman.
so, mate.
He's sitting there like visibly grimacing. He's like, I'm sick of you all.
Chesney
No, but-
Hawks. Chesney Hawks. That was the joke on
I got it.
Mary
I-
Whitehouse Experience.
I am
Chesney
the one
Hawks.
and
I am the
only.
one and only. I fucking hope so, mate.
Yeah.
But I didn't honestly. I know you were talking about it in the chat, but I didn't actually see it, so I'm blind to the.
Yes, I didn't see it. Tell us more about it.
Right. Okay.
Wayne.
So he was on with Tom Swarbrick the other day.
Who's an
And-
ass? Swore prick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Tory.
he was getting
Tory.
questioned over the severity of the Israeli response to the Gaza thing, and so the Gaza thing that makes it no,
The attack on the October the 7th.
Genocide. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and Tom Swarbrick was letting him off so much,
Well, he
He
would.
always does. He always does.
and it
Or
was
He's a crap interviewer.
I was sitting there like just on the sofa over there, just watching it on my phone, going, "Oh, fucking pushback, fucking call him out."
Do you know
Call him
what though,
out.
Wayne? I often think that when I'm listening to LBC, because you listen to James O'Brien, you think that's how everyone responds. But even when it was Eddie Mair on there, he's really good on politicians. But when people called in, he was like, "Yeah, that's nice."
I liked Eddie Mair. I thought he was sound as hell. Vorders has joined now.
Yeah.
Yes.
One day.
Sunday.
Only for one day.
Our Vorders. She told us about it a couple of weeks ago, but
Oh, your little
Oh,
mate told you
hey,
the whole
wait,
thing down
wait,
to
wait,
your
wait,
famous
wait.
friend.
I'm joking.
Wait,
I'm
no,
joking.
no, I'm not having that. I'm not having that.
Name dropping.
Wayne's just like, fuck this.
Wayne's
Like,
gone.
Oh, he's going into his drawer now.
The thing is, he's
Oh,
busy
there it
mates with James O'Brien, so
His
he's going to try and
secret
one up
sex
you
drawer
now.
now. Well, hide the dildo, Wayne.
I don't know. He's
Yeah,
going to get
for
his
real.
James
Mine
O'Brien
was
sex
James.
toys out. Here you go. What's he got?
poppers,
Some branded merchandise. You
Poppers?
missed what we were just saying.
a microphone,
Oh, you
microphone
wanted to
drop.
drop the mic.
All that for that, really?
All that for that.
I do really like the fact that our mates
the
are kind of
microphone off
taking
the
over
thing.
LBC one by one.
You
Yeah.
have to raise a tension there, Wayne.
He did.
I had to, do you know what? It's only because I put that mic away in that drawer, and my little Florence, she went, "Dad, I found my microphone." I went, "Oh, okay. Where are you going to put it?" "In that drawer." I went, "All right." So I knew exactly where it was, just to do that little effect.
Clip it up. But no, it's cool that there's loads of people that are kind of like, I mean, Ian Dale's an absolute shithouse. Like I used to have.
That's Aid's best friend you're talking
There
about.
was
No,
a
not
time
Ian
when-
Dale.
Well, to be fair to Aid,
Yeah, Ian Dale is like Aid's best mate.
Aid interviewed him around the time when he was
And then
more
Aid got
moderate.
interviewed by him.
He was more
Okay.
moderate around that time, and there was a time when he was quite reasonable. Now he's gone back to being full-blown, full-fat Tory, and
No, he never was not Tory.
he's an arse to.
Well, when he was on my show, I asked him, "Could you imagine yourself voting Conservative at the next election?" And he was like, "That's an interesting question. Don't know if I will." Like, he seemed really sort of shaken by the Boris Johnson Partygate, like all of that stuff, all of the chaos, all of the incompetence. And I
No.
got the impression he might sort of flip to Lib Dem. But
No.
I've, to be honest, I've not really tuned into
He's
him
so
much
reclaimed.
recently. So what's he been saying?
Oh, he has just gone like ultra like defensive of the government again. The other night, like I actually, I'm fond of a swear, day to day, don't implement it into every conversation, but he was
Really?
defending the Conservatives to the point, so brazenly, to the point where I actually swore and said "fuck off" at my own radio, and I was gonna call
That
in.
regularly during Nick Ferrari.
But yeah, it's almost like Nick Ferrari levels, right? I didn't want to have to do this, but I've got to get the water out because they're just not learning. Right,
I was
okay.
going to say on LBC now, so obviously James O'Brien, but also and also
No.
Sheila Fogarty have always been pretty good on our side. But now we've got Natasha Devon, Sangeeta Maiska,
Thank you.
Cal Vorderman, and Marina Perkis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget the legend that is Nick Abbott.
I like
Oh
Nick
yeah, Nick
Abbott.
Abbott. Yeah. Nick.
Whatever happened to? Do you remember, like, back in the day, like this is about like 3 or 4 years ago? Whatever happened to Majid Nawaz? I know he got.
Oh, he got fired.
He went
Oh, I
full-
can tell you some stories about that.
He went
fully
fucking
Conspiracy theorist.
conspiracy
Yeah,
nut.
he went down the rabbit hole and never came back.
Yeah.
But I know,
Yeah.
so I know loosely, broadly, that he got ejected from the station for doing a lot of COVID conspiracy lockdown kind of skeptic
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
think that's accurate.
James
It was
O'Brien.
constant.
But then what's he been doing recently? Like, has he?
Nothing.
He's gone to America.
Has
gone
he?
to America.
Oh, has he?
Interesting.
They love that shit over there. Though, don't
The
they,
thing
though?
is, though, he was quite coming down quite hard on the Chinese government for their treatment of the
Of the
Uyghur
Uyghurs.
Muslims in
Yeah, he was doing good business on that.
northwest of China in the Xinjiang province, and I
Right.
thought fantastic. Someone in the British media is making a big thing about this, as someone should be. But then, he segued into this COVID conspiracy
Lockdown
rabbit
was
hole.
bad,
And
blah,
He
blah,
was
blah.
lost before that. I remember watching his show one Sunday where he was legitimately comparing a man who has his faults, admittedly, but definitely not on this level. He was like, just before the 2019 election, smearing Jeremy Corbyn and calling him a Nazi on national
Wow.
radio. And I was listening to it going, what the hell are you doing comparing, Jeremy Corbyn to that regime? That is an insane thing to do. And he was just openly doing it on the radio. And then there was that report that apparently him and his mate got heavy with James O'Brien, wasn't it, in a pub or something? Like they
Wayne,
started on him.
spill the beans. What happened?
It's not for me to say.
Bollocks! That's rubbish. Tell us everything.
Well,
no. There was.
I don't think I'm wrong about that.
No. The thing is, it was
heard something about
it was reported. But it was just a case of this was after his release from LBC, and then they both was in the same restaurant, and they tried to have a conversation, and James was just like, I don't want to talk to you. And there were words exchanged. I don't want, like, it's all out there. I don't want to.
It's all reported. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I don't want to paraphrase it because I don't want to chuck.
No.
under the
Like,
bus
I
or
mean,
anything
just
like
I can't
that.
remember what was reported now, but I could have sworn that James Majid was with either like a proper right wing or like a
Yeah.
SPAD or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
He was with a SPAD or he was with a right wing like Vote Leave type or something, or Brexit type. And there was like an exchange of words in a restaurant, and Majid lost his cool. And I don't know if the police were called or not, but I know that it was like
No.
I know that it got a bit heated, and
No, it was just an exchange of words, and James left.
that was it. Yeah, and then he was off.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, I've heard things about LBC that they're not exactly as progressive as they make out, and that
Well,
a lot.
they're getting better. Someone
Their
just pointed out
flagship show is the most right-wing show on the station.
They've got quite a broad spectrum.
No. James has got the biggest show on LBC.
Yeah,
he's
but
got the
they
biggest
promote
viewership.
Nick
Yeah,
Ferrari the most.
listener.
Nick Ferrari is awful.
He's promoted constantly throughout the whole day.
I know it gets irritating. You got to turn your radio off or your phone on. What are you listening to?
I have turned it off
before it'll say Nick Ferrari at breakfast. You're like, quick to the dial. Just to jump into the chat for a little bit. Thank you very much to Emma Price, who makes a very good point. Thank you very much for the super chat. Voters as Lineker and Lineker are better as activists. If they become MP, they have to toe the party line. I don't disagree with that.
Well, I'd never want to be an MP.
Well, again, that's why I don't want to be an MP. I'd rather just shout from the sidelines. Also, my mum just signed off saying bye for now. Which means
bye, Graham's mum.
She was listening the whole thing when we were talking about Gove and how he got that mark on his head. So
it's a shame that I didn't apologise to her, isn't it? Isn't it, Aid?
Well, you know what?
A bunch of flowers.
Yeah.
Can we use the super chat money to buy Graham's mum a bunch of flowers?
And say them off.
To be fair, it is very rare that anyone would ever make a your mum joke when the mum is in the room. Like, to be honest with you, like, it was very unlucky.
What I loved about that was, like, I sent Graham a thing afterwards on WhatsApp. I was like, I hope that was taken in the spirit with which it was intended, like that, and the love and everything. And he responded back going like, my mum tunes into these, you bastards.
And Graham's mum is bloody lovely. Like, I've met her. She's a legend. She loves
awesome.
the wine and she cooks a banging roast. So
yeah.
Whoa. I've not had a fucking roast from Graham's mum. What is going fucking on here?
Wayne, you need to get up to Liverpool, mate. Let's get up to Liverpool. Labour Party conference. Come on, let's all do it.
All right, let's go.
I want to come up for a roast. Can I come up for a roast?
Of course, Scott, you can. But it has to be when I'm there as well, because I live in Durham. But my parents are in Liverpool.
Well, I don't care if you're there. Your mom makes a good roast, though. Hang on, your mom.
Imagine that.
Is Aid getting off?
Yeah, I gotta go, man.
He normally does a French exit, so we should be grateful he's saying goodbye.
Yeah.
I'm saying cheerio. It's been fun.
It has.
I do love Adrian's fucking MySpace angle that he
Adrian.
He does have a MySpace angle, yeah.
What? Because it comes down
Normally,
like that.
that's normally me. That's normally me.
Well, I wish I could say, oh no, I just put it wherever, but it's absolutely deliberate. It's like,
yeah.
if it's up here, it's like like, you know, when you take a selfie from above, it's like more flattering. It's
It
like
is.
Yeah, the MySpace angle. That's the
Yeah.
MySpace angle.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
like cheap. If I put it down here, like, you're gonna see my double chin and everything. Nobody wants to see that shit.
It's fresh in the
No,
bait
we
now.
can all see that.
Yeah.
Right, see you later, you massive flap.
Yeah. Take care, shit flap.
Fuck
Bye.
you.
See you later, you fucking melt.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Right.
silly Wade. Aid, I tell you what, Aid is so much fun to go raving and partying with. We had so much fun too much fun at Glastonbury. Aid is someone like you wouldn't think it, but God, he has got the stamina of a like I've never known.
Hello.
No, not
Hello.
like that. You're
What's all this about?
He's like a brother to me.
How long did it take?
He put up with a lot of
Wow.
my shit at that festival as well.
Are you
But
talking brother as in like paternal, or are you talking?
I'm not
a
talking
brother?
like what I'm not talking what are you doing, stepbrother? I'm talking like I'm
Let
talking
me just
like
Google that.
like my yeah, go on, Google what are you doing, stepbro. No, he was like hardcore raver, like for like I'm talking about 4 days straight. One day I like woke up and he'd passed out outside the tent, and it was like 30-degree heat at like 9 a.m. in the morning at
Oh,
last.
God, yeah. It was so
And I
hot.
had to put like chairs over him and put his phone out of the sun because it was like literally melting nearly. And it was just like, and he just got up, had a coffee, and he was just ready to go again. And I was like, what the hell? How are you alive? You know, but mind you, I went to Glastonbury with a serious back injury. And he was just like, I mean, raving, dancing by night, by day, kind of like sleeping for about an hour and then back on it again for a full sesh.
You sound like a professional footballer. I went to Glastonbury with a terrible back injury, but you know I played through it.
He played through it. He did a sweet little nutmeg. He managed to get it over the line, and then he
game of two halves.
Did a couple of lines, and then was back on his feet.
Right, I was front and centre at a pyramid stage. Back was fucking killing me, but I still managed to fucking knock one in.
Over the top, lads.
Can I just give a shout out to Alex French though? Says I follow these guys all year, all 12 days of it. So far, no mention whatsoever unless you pay a super chat. That's capitalism. Sorry. So we should sit here and read every single comment. But we're not going to. So, you know, if you definitely want us to read what you say, then either be dead funny or drop a super chat.
Yeah, or follow Wayne A. Lynch 1 on
quick question. Who does political custard? It's really funny. Let's remember.
What?
Political custard? I haven't heard of it. I'll tell you what was really, really funny and literally had me snorting milk out my nose was Larry and Paul. You know, they do the broken news thing. Have you seen it? Where it's the one where it's just
oh
yes,
yes.
God, they're funny. They did one for like New Year, like everything's the same. All the bad things that have happened last year will happen again this year, and it was just it's a masterpiece. I'll put it in. I'll put a little. I'll put a little thing in the chat.
Can I a little
link?
Can I do a little bit of speculation with regards?
No.
Fuck you.
No.
I'm doing it anyway.
No. Tan's just saying no. So I was like, well,
okay.
I've had to go to the Dr. Evil method of like spritzing them with water to get them away from the thing.
Jesus. Right. Someone called Peter.
Where did the other guy go?
Right.
Darren's just disappeared.
Are there any because this is something that comes up quite a bit. Are there any comedians that make you go make you go, yeah, you can't say that, or you look at it and go, do you know what, mate, it's fine, it's absolutely fine.
What?
No.
What? Shut up. Everything's fine. What?
Right. Controversial comedians. Okay, so you've got your Dave Chappelle's, your Ricky Gervais,
Controversial. You mean
your
transphobic?
your
They're
Frankie
not
Frankie
controversial.
Boyles. Are there any of those?
Frankie Boyle's not controversial because he's not transphobic.
Well,
Okay.
he kind of is a bit, to be fair.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he says some stuff that's really not the kind of thing that a white man should say.
Yeah. And his last special,
Okay.
he really did. And
disabled, like anti-disabled stuff.
yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
So are there any comedians that you will shut down? Just like, bye-bye.
Any
I'm over
comedians?
Dave Chappelle. There was this wonderful TikToker,
Ricky Gervais can fuck off at
a
the
trans
moment.
woman who just said, "Does anybody else get client from Dave Chappelle? Like, who broke his heart? What trans woman broke Dave Chappelle's heart?" He's had to do
Wow.
3 specials
Probably.
about them.
I mean,
And
just
it's
look at old,
true.
what's his name back in the day? What was his name? Really famous comedian. Did the red suit.
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Mhm.
Yeah, he used to be really transphobic, and then he was caught with a
He was pretty
trans.
homophobic as well. He did a whole.
Oh yeah, Raw and Delirious were very, very homophobic.
And then he was caught with a trans woman.
He was apparently, wasn't he? Wasn't he like found in a situation along those lines? I could have sworn he was.
Something like that, possibly. Don't sue us.
It's so often done.
Yeah.
Please don't sue us.
This is Graham's show.
No, it's not my show. Everyone is responsible for their own mouths.
I'm
What
a
they
guest.
say out of it.
Check the rules in your contract. No. What's the question? Is it like people that you would cancel? Or
No,
something?
is there anyone that like you would like see as a comedian that you go, no, do you know what, mate? You can jog on.
Ricky Gervais after that last one. I mean, he was on his last.
It was on his last warning from me. It was not funny. It was not funny.
But it that's the thing. It's not funny. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can make jokes about edgy topics. You can do it, but you've got to be funny, and you can't be just punching down and just being horrible to a minority.
Anyone that punches down, I think, definitely. I think that you can make jokes about anything, but you can't make jokes about anything that you're not affected by. Like if you're kind of like a really ultra privileged in every sense of the word white man making jokes about something like domestic abuse or about people of other races or disability, that is just not cool.
Isn't that what that Matt Rife did or whatever his name was?
Oh, I've never heard of the guy or seen anything he's done, but he basically, well, according to what I've heard from,
he's funny. He was funny, actually. Like, all the stuff I'd seen on TikTok was funny. He did this Netflix special. The first joke he made was about domestic violence, and everybody went, "What? What are you doing?"
And he got a lot of following from according to Aid, like being quite, I don't think he's that good looking, but they considered him to be kind of like conventional.
So women love him.
Apparently so, but not anymore. So the guy's not just like punching down, he's also a massive idiot who's alienated his target audience.
Essentially. And then and then the person he went to go speak to about it was Jordan Peterson.
Fucking hell.
There you
Put
go.
out the frying pan into the fire.
Do you know what, though? I feel sorry for Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro because, since AI's come along, a lot of the voiceover stuff for the Looney Tunes cartoons, they just get the AI to do it, so they haven't got much work these days, having those.
They both sound like
voices.
Kermit the Frog, don't they?
They both sound like they both sound like cartoon characters. They don't sound like real people.
What you need to do,
anyone could take them seriously is beyond me.
Hey, when you take me seriously, I talk like this.
If you take Ben Shapiro, any of his YouTube clips, and slow the audio down to -2, you get Jordan Peterson.
And Jordan Peterson is just like Jordan Peterson's just the thick man thinking person, really. He's he's managed to like make like
an intelligent
millions out of just like appearing to be intellectual to people that aren't intellectual, and it's just so like base and ridiculous. He just cashes in on people's kind of like one of the things that's most offensive about him isn't just the fact that he's a raging misogynist, but it's the fact that he cashes in on the insecurities of men that are looking for guidance. And these men are looking to someone for a role model, and this guy kind of like pretends to be the kind of like the dad figure or whatever, and just feeds them the most toxic, horrible crap that will make them unhappy in the long run, but
make them single forever.
It makes Peterson a killing. So he comes away from it having damaged these legions of men. And the problem is, like, a bit like Brexit and other kind of like political stuff, none of them can really explain what he's talking about. They don't really know. They'll say, oh, watch the video. No, mate, you explain to me what it is about him that's inspiring. They can't, because they don't know. And it's really
tidy your room.
Yeah, tidy your room. Or in Peterson's case, bosh a load of Valium. Because that'll do the job, won't it? He's just like.
Well, just
to go back. Sorry, just to go back to Eddie. Eddie Murphy. Jeannie said in the chat he was just giving a lift to a hooker who lost her lipstick on the car floor and was looking for it when Eddie's pants fell off magically as police stopped him.
I think Hugh Grant
was with Mel B, wasn't it?
No, I think Hugh Grant uses the same defence.
Oh, come on, let's not bash the HG on this chat. I love Hugh.
Yeah, but he did get caught with a hooker.
He did. And why did he get caught?
I'm not commenting.
Do you know why
did you ask
caught?
him?
Yeah, this is why he got caught. Because in America, the brake lights work even if the ignition's not on in the car.
And I went, oh, Hugh, as an opener, what happened with the hooker then?
What happened with that hooker?
Are you serious? No, of course it was
she truly divine?
Anyway,
on American cars, if you aren't in ignition and you press the brake pedal, the lights come on in the back of the car.
It sounds like that little
doesn't happen on British
when the
cars.
man goes out, reading the statement to the press.
I've got the perfect Hugh Grant defence. He was being a method actor for Pretty Woman sequel.
Yeah, Winona Ryder was method acting when she stole those clothes.
Let's move on from this. I'm pleading the fifth, mate. I'm not involved.
Okay, so thank you very much to Puninator for the £10 super chat. Counter argument, Jimmy Carr. The haunted ventriloquist puppet. He can joke about anything, but he always makes it clear he's just joking, not serious. P.S. As a disabled person, I love being included in comedy, regardless of the comedian. Well, I understand being included in the comedy, but being the butt of the joke. Do you know what I mean? I find it difficult.
Recently, actually,
in the same way that if a disabled comedian tells disabled jokes about their disability, then I'm more likely to laugh at that. In the same way, I'm more likely to laugh at a Scouser telling Scouse jokes than I am at a Manc telling Scouse jokes who can fuck off.
Yeah, but like, if I was to make fun of like Caribbean people, would that give me a pass to like be all right in a racist way? I don't
be all right in a racist way. What?
Am I allowed to be as racist as I want about my own people?
No, but that's what I'm saying.
I would make jokes about white people all day long, no problem. They're fucking.
There's no racism against white people.
No. Yeah,
but if Scott makes a joke about gay people, then I think that's a lot
more acceptable. I hate them too. They suck.
Well, exactly.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's why you like them so much.
Well, no, that's why I don't like them. They're not that good at it.
Oh, right. You think it would be better, considering?
Oh, do you know? I'd have thought that like they'd be banging at Falaise. To be honest with you, I'd have thought that they'd be like all over that.
Oh no, I'm joking.
They know what they're doing, Tan.
I was leaning in. I was like, tell us more about how gay people.
These terrible gay people.
No, they're actually better at giving head than women. No, but they are.
That's the end of that.
Jimmy Carr, I saw recently, and because I decided that I would treat my little brothers to a night of comedy.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
He's shit.
And I took them to go see Jimmy Carr, and I have to say that I was going in there because I've never really liked him very much for a couple of reasons. Not because he's like edgy or controversial or tries to be. It's more the fact that if I see one-liner comedians, it just feels like someone's telling a joke book at me, and it bores me. and it did. Some of the jokes that he did were really just lowest common denominator sexism, but he has tried to broaden it out. And there was one bit that he did where he tried to find someone in the audience that was like 16, 17, and he actually, for this entire like 15-minute bit, talked them through how to make sure they're getting enthusiastic consent from a woman before having sex with her. And it was like, what? This is like not what I expected from Jimmy Carr. So he's like, I think whilst he does some of the kind of bass stuff and obviously the disabled stuff, which I thought was a bit, it looks like he is trying to not be as much of a dick. But broadly, it was pretty boring by the end, and I just wanted to go. But he's very good at crowd participation. He's very good at ripping. And he also really ripped into a neighbouring town, which we all enjoyed. Because
yeah, but he just kind of throws mom jokes at everybody.
It was actually not so much of that, really. There was a bit of that, but to be honest with you, I was actually really surprised. I thought he was going to be terrible, but there were a few bits in it that were quite funny. But even my brothers were like, at the end, they were just like, "Oh, this has gone on a bit too long now. I just want to go home." But he wasn't, he wasn't dreadful. But I did see the kind of punchy down elements, which was just kind of like casual 1950s style sexism, like joking about. But he did make a joke about date rape, which I thought was actually not a joke about date rape. It was about how it shouldn't be called date rape because it's just rape. So it was like saying, "Oh, you wouldn't say someone's been circus murdered, would you?" And like, he was making that, which is like
that's called comedy, isn't it? So you can be edgy. Yeah, but you're
focusing
not
on the crime, not the people. Yeah, he wasn't
you're not
making
victim blaming.
About,
you're not punching down.
No, you're not punching down. He's not joking about the crime. He's saying like this is a serious crime, so it should be not called date. It should just be called what it is, And I thought, bloody hell, I'm surprised that, I was really surprised that that's where the joke went. Because at the start, everyone kind of like laughed a bit nervously to say, like, where are you going with this? So yeah, like Jimmy Carr, I have mixed feelings about now but at the same time, John Left of the Countryside says that like every comedian has like an online persona, like an on-stage persona, that isn't actually obviously who they are. Like they're a different person. And I know someone who knows Jimmy Carr who says he's actually like really decent and caring about social issues and stuff, but they go out and they do a bit, don't they? They're not like themselves on the stage, but then
doesn't like paying his taxes though, does he?
Who does? I'm about to get rinsed by the tax man. I don't particularly like paying my taxes either, but I have to,
But Jimmy Carr got away with it for a while.
I'm not rich, no, so I'd get rinsed for it. But no, but at the same time, if you're going out to a massive audience and you're literally just saying stuff that will further damage society, that's where you've got to think about like, well, bit versus person. You've got to think about the intent of the people that you're talking about. So
indeed. Darren, you keep popping in and out. Are you okay?
Yeah, well, it's just dodgy internet over last half hour over here.
Oh man, I'm gonna come find out who gives you internet, and I'm gonna strangle them. Because every time you disappear, I have to rearrange the screen.
Oh, tell me about it. Oh, because like for the last 10 minutes, it's been rather interesting. Because like my screen has been freezing, and you're all seeing funny facial expressions. As it just totally freezes. Somebody's going.
So they don't give you internet up north. They don't let you have it.
That's what I was about to say. It's a bit limited up there.
The fact that you're sitting there with a beanie and fingerless gloves in your guitar area.
Yes, guitar area. Love it.
You're in your garage, aren't you?
I'm in my back hall.
What?
As I've said before, I'm in my back hall.
You're in your glory hole.
Is it a glory hole? Fuck's sake.
Yes.
You're in glory hole.
Up in Yorkshire.
We all have a glory hole.
Up in Yorkshire, it's called a back hole.
No, that's called a poo.
What? Do you want to tell us about your back hole?
No. Can you just get things back onto comedy? We'll be talking about comedy, man.
I'm just like, no, please don't.
I'm talking about his cupboard.
This show has not commented on politics anywhere more than we've talked about fucking sexual proclivities.
I think that I think that I'm kind of agreeing with Tan on this, because I think that Jimmy Carr, he can be funny. Like, some of his jokes have literally, made me lol.
Not all of them, though. That's a but he's a hit and misser. Like, that's the thing. I think he was trying out new material, to be fair.
But I mean, same with. I mean, I have not seen something by who's the Scottish comedian with the beard? Grumpy.
Billy Connolly.
No.
Frankie Boyle.
Frankie
Boyle. Like, I've not seen anything by him that I would think, like, I mean, I might have just missed it, but I've always seen stuff that's very edgy, but I've never seen a bit where I thought, oh, that's too much.
No, he has gone too far. I mean, the joke that he made about Katie Price's disabled son was, like, well beyond the pale. Like, really, really bad.
When was that? Was that a while ago? I mean,
we'll have to Google it, because I don't want to repeat it. That's how kind of
about Harvey.
About Harvey, her son that has a disability, and about. I mean, it was so grim that I don't want to repeat it. I mean, that was well too far. But the problem is, like, with comedy broadly,
did he apologise?
No,
no, like
absolutely not.
He has a free reign because he's a bloke. Like, the thing is, I will make a joke about something, and I will, like, do a build up to a joke. Like, for example, I made a joke on my Instagram about not being able to open a jar of pickles, right? And it was self-deprecating. I was like, this is the worst part of it about being single, but I was building up to the bit where I said, oh yeah, and the lack of knob, right? That was the punchline. But everyone in the comments on Twitter and Instagram, hundreds of comments telling me how to open the jar, not realizing that I was setting up just like a kind of like a little joke. Or I made a joke about having a cry on New Year's Eve. I was inundated with men making comments.
That absolutely put me. I was just like,
at a family gathering, like, it's the truth. I had men for days filling my DMs and my message requests. All the comments.
Are you all right, love?
Offering to help me out, basically. And it's like they just assume, if you're a woman saying that stuff, that it's either A, too far, or B, it's literal. Like, you can't get away with it. Like, I've made jokes about, like, I think when Johnson resigned, I said, and that he was going to be like he was the caretaker prime minister. I was like, oh yeah, he'll be the worst caretaker since Ian Huntley. Everyone crucified me for that comment.
That's funny, actually. I'm not sure.
Everyone crucified me for saying he'd be the worst caretaker since Ian Huntley. And they were like, oh, people died. It's like, mate, I'm talking about Johnson, not the victims. The butt of this joke is Johnson being terrible, And they just don't, like, Rosie Holt, she'll pretend to be a PM, she'll edit it so she looks like she's the prime minister, the MP being interviewed. She will have hundreds of men and people going, oh, this Tory MP is terrible. It's like, she's a satirist. Like, she's not really a Tory MP. And it's like, what the hell? It's so bad.
You're right, there is double standards for women making jokes about stuff and men making jokes about, if a bloke's making a joke about not being able to have sex or get it up, and then he's inundated with men saying, I'll help you, I'll give you a hand, mate. It would be a bit like, hang on,
they wouldn't like it, would they?
Well,
they wouldn't like it.
Why do that?
Tent, I saw your tweets over Christmas or X's or what they're fucking called.
I missed the super chat. Go on.
No, go do the super chat quickly.
Andy Thompson, thank you very much for the super chat. Keir Starmer was method acting when he had a curry during lockdown. Going back to the fucking curry.
That's a great fucking
circle back to the curry.
Can you imagine him practicing it like korma? Biryani.
Yeah. But to Tan's point, when I saw that particular tweet that you put out, I was like, oh, I'm gonna click on this and I'm gonna see a load of fucking geezers going, well, I'll help you out. I'll fucking sort you out. And I'm like, Tan is being fucking
Idiots.
ironic. You absolute melts.
But you see,
send them a knob pic, Wayne. Send them a dick pic and say, "Can you sort me out?"
Yeah,
I'll just stand up.
They won't like
drop
that.
my trousers. Go get on that, son. Get on that.
Wait, can I have one?
Send them. Just stop. Can I have one? Help him out.
Rate
Wayne,
this,
you got a customer, mate.
I'll rate it from 1 to 10. Send it over now.
Oh,
Email address is.
There was a great female comedian who did a bit about.
I'll send you one back.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, that was kind of what she did. She did the bit where she was like, "What I do now, I get so many dick pics when I'm doing dating, right? That if someone sends me a dick pic, I just send them back one that I've already received that's bigger."
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, that's a great tactic.
That's not.
Yeah, but I got this one 2 days ago, and it's a lot bigger than yours.
She's sitting there like photoshopping them and everything, like ratio and scale, and like getting technical with it. That's
right. This is gonna put Graham. I guarantee.
What? Are you gonna get me banned off YouTube?
No.
Not again.
So, when it comes to the dick pic ratio, we get VAR involved.
Who's going to be the referee running up to the screen?
Just draw the lines. Draw the lines.
You know what, Scott? I reckon that you should be the ref because I think you've probably got better experience than me. So I think you should.
Dick pics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take them and send them. Yeah.
Just general dick, like basically. So I reckon we go to Scott. He's the ref, right?
And I've probably seen more dicks than everybody in this chat.
You probably have, penalty. VAR.
I'm still waiting.
Idea.
Right, leave
you
it.
can decide if people get sent off, or they can play on.
Scott, if you want to know, there it is.
Anyway, guys, we're gonna have to wrap this up in a few minutes because it's getting up to 11 o'clock.
Are we going to talk about politics?
And my face is actually hurting from laughing so much. So
Can I just quickly raise a toast to the great late Annie Nightingale who died today?
Annie Nightingale,
pioneer.
Oh yes.
Amazingly eclectic, inspirational, trailblazing, legend of a DJ.
Absolute legend.
Good taste in music.
Want to raise a glass to her because
she was in her 80s, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She was in her 80s and still putting together set lists that were banging, like unbelievably fresh and contemporary. Like she was just constantly searching for new music. Like her and John Hill basically gave me my taste in music. So big ups to her. Amazing lady.
Oh, great chat, Tan. Great chat, Tan.
Before we wrap up for the evening, I was just going to ask, as I sometimes do, what was your sort of news story of the week? What was either good or bad, or funny or not funny? I'm going to go first while you have a think. That woman who stood up in Parliament and said, "Don't worry, everyone. I found the Brexit benefit. There are now shellfish in the Thames estuary."
Full of shit.
Firth.
They have literally grown because of sovereignty. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. And they're happy razor clams. Not that we eat razor clams and we can't even export them to Italy because they won't accept them because they're obviously full of sewage because we put so much sewage into the Thames estuary. But yeah, that was my highlights of the week. Wayne, what about you? What was your sort of news story?
My low light of the week was watching the ambassador and the spokesman from the Israeli government basically parroting the same shit and not answering any questions.
Was that on the Tom Swarbrick show that you were talking about earlier?
The Tom Swarbrick show and also the Ian Dale show earlier.
Yeah, it's the classic Ian Dale.
Yeah, I was just like befuddled by the fact that they were like not answering any questions. they were given a question and did a little bit of word salad, and then answered a question that was not answered. Sorry, not asked. Sorry.
That unfortunately happens a lot, doesn't it?
Classic tactic, isn't it?
But
especially on that conflict, because it's just so many people have got blood on their hands over that, and Israel just being allowed to do whatever they want. And the South African lads stepped up and had the balls to declare it.
That dude's bowled in with scarves on. Like, fuck it, let's have it.
Calling it a genocide. But to be fair, like the absolute, like the language used by Netanyahu and the sheer scale of civilian casualties basically proves that it's true. Like, they're right. And it's going to be grim when we see the full scale of this, because not even allowed to get journalists in. We're literally relying on people that could die any moment to tell us what's happening there, and Channel 4 News are doing a great job of covering it, actually.
Well, let me give you a little quick synopsis of what's going on with that, because Tom Swarbrick was a bit pants in pushing back.
I don't think he knows what he's talking about, to be fair.
But he did actually highlight something in saying that your man Elon was going, we're trying to get rid of all of the Hamas infrastructure, which is under buildings, like civilian buildings and all that. And he said, well, so
that's handy, isn't it?
Yeah, so you basically can get rid of all of Gaza. And he was so slippery. It was like fucking trying to grab an eel. Like, listen to him.
Well, I'm sure that he's been well trained in how to
massively
respond. Massively. But I don't think that Tom Swarbrick's the best interviewer for situations.
No, but if you've got access to this massive tunnel network, if you can get in there, send your special forces in there and fucking get everyone. Yeah. All right? Because all you're going to do by bombing everyone, how do you know you're not just bombed your fucking hostages?
Exactly.
They did. They killed their own hostages.
Yeah,
they shot them cold blood.
They're holding white flags and unarmed and shouting in Hebrew. We are Israeli, and they shot them anyway.
If you've got
I think you're trying to use. You're trying to. There's no. They're not trying to do a surgical operation to take Hamas out. They are raising Gaza to the ground.
They've said that. They said that's what they want to do.
Yep. They're just going to destroy every building there, so make it uninhabitable and make everybody leave. Everyone, 2 million people.
And this twat Elon saying, "Oh yeah, once it's all done, they can all go back to their houses."
Yeah.
They ain't got the fucking house.
This is going to result in Hamas getting exactly what they want and Israel getting exactly what they want. Israel's wanted to do something like this for years, and has been held back by the fact that it had no excuse, no pretense to go and do it. Hamas gave them that, and now Hamas have made Israel an international pariah because of what Israel's done, which is what Hamas's target was.
This misinterpretation of from the river to the sea fucking bullshit does my nut in. It's like the river's there at one end of Gaza, and the sea is there.
No, it's not Gaza. It's talking about the River Jordan.
Yeah,
it separates Jordan from Israel. That's the problem with that. Is Scott taking a picture of his knob?
Always.
For the last 5 minutes. Oh, he's doing it.
Oh, they look nice.
Sorry to bring the tone of the conversation down a bit.
They look ghoulish, suitably ghoulish.
He's like a very.
What Scott's up to?
He's like a very camp Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Did you see this story? Oh, Scott, it was your top story. The fact that Jason Donovan was photographed on the front cover of one of the newspapers because he had black nail varnish on.
Is he?
No, is that real?
Yeah.
Oh, I like Jason.
He was out in the sea, right, in his board shorts, and the story, it was on the front cover of one of the newspapers this week. That's how much news there was.
Unbelievable.
He painted his fingernails black.
Anything to avoid holding the toys accountable, eh? Like,
yeah, indeed.
They'll
It was
go
almost
with
like
anything.
proper double takes. Like, what's
Made
the
the
story
cover.
there?
I
Has he
love
got
the
an
cover.
album out? Has he got an illness? What's happened?
No,
Oh,
I
he's
think-
wearing black nail varnish. All right.
So what, man? Everyone does now. It's cool.
No, he's on tour at the minute.
I think it's actually quite sexy when a man wears
I
nail
wanted
varnish.
I wanted to bring up.
Sorry?
Well, I have a news story I was more like a political event.
Go
I
on.
thought was genius, and it actually happened in America.
Okay.
So we all know about this whole because we got an election coming up in both countries, in UK and the US.
God help us all.
Yeah.
Scott, you're really
Absolutely.
quiet. Could you possibly lean a little bit towards your microphone wherever it
or,
is?
or check your mic, what source you're using.
Or just come closer to us.
Come, Scott.
Come closer to us.
Climb through the telly screen.
Don't say
like
that,
the little
Graham.
girl
The last
in
thing
the
Wayne
ring.
wants is me getting any closer.
Come at me, bro.
That's a come on to Scott, mate. So just so you know,
I'll fuck him up.
that's also a come on. I love the way fighting talk and sort of men chatting each other up. It sounds very similar.
I like it. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say was, did you see in Congress, the Republicans have been going on and on about the Biden crime family and Hunter Biden this and Hunter Biden that. He won't testify, blah, blah, blah. Well, Hunter Biden showed up at one of their committee meetings and said,
Yeah,
I'll testify. And then the Republicans went, oh, we want you to do that in private. Well, I can do it right now, right here. No. And then they still wanted to charge him with not complying with the subpoena.
Unbelievable.
yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene brought out some dick pics.
Yeah. And then when
He just walked off.
the moment she was called to ask a question, he left.
Unbelievable. Like, it's classic tactics. Like, their bluff was called. They shut their pants.
Yeah. I love the fact that he just strolled in there, flexed, and went, fuck you.
Yeah. I'll talk now. What did you want to ask me? And they're all like, well, we want to talk about this in private.
Exactly.
No, it's been in public right now on television.
Here I am.
I'm right here. And they
Let's
went,
do the show right here. But that whole thing of like the Biden crime family, it's literally his son has had a problem with addiction since his other son died horribly.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get, he's had trouble getting over it. And to anyone else, you just go, that's awful. That's really sad that happened. And he needs our love and support.
And
But
also,
the Republicans are like, we need to distract the fact that Trump is a mafiosi boss running a crime syndicate, which involves literally all his family.
With alleged
videotapes
of him on Epstein Island. Oh, hello.
Yeah. Oh, you got
what?
balloons.
Oh, you did a thing.
You did a thing. You did a thing that allows.
It doesn't work with me.
I think it was when you said Epstein Island. That's what. Makes
all
the balloons come out.
Shit. Tan, you're fucked now.
Yeah. The one, yeah. That's a signal. That's
I'm just
a signal.
going to pretend the cats are playing up again and run away. Sorry.
Shout out to Andy Thompson again. Thank you, Andy, for another £5 super chat. Jason Donovan was wearing black nail varnish because Keir Starmer had a curry during lockdown. Davin, have you got a story for this week that sort of piqued your interest?
Well, there were two little ones because, like, during PMQs, you talked about Anna Firth doing a Brexit bonkers nonsense. Yeah. The other one is our good friend filibuster Philip Davis was he got up to basically slate the Bradford Council, as he called it, a regime, because they were the council is practically bankrupt. And then Rishi Sunak got up and spouted nonsense about under Labour councils, the only people who suffer and this, that, they're thinking, I think you've forgotten about Thurrock Council, Northamptonshire Council, and Woking Council as well.
The Tory councils.
Yeah, exactly. And my second little one was, which I thought was pretty. SNP MP called Marion Fellows. She got up and talked about, because it struck a little bit of a chord for me, because she said people who are dying with cancer who want to die at home, they can't, because they can't afford the energy bills. So they have to die. They have to die in hospital, And it kind of reminds me of a family member who, when he passed away at hospital, we're all in this small little room, and there were about 6 of us. There were 6. There were about 7 or 8 of us, saying his last goodbye in a small room, and there were, I'd say, about 5 other patients in little cubicles, one at the side of each other. Think, what a way to say goodbye, you know what I mean? And I just, when I heard that question, it kind of just thought, and she asked Rishi Sunak, would you like to meet me and Marie Curie so we can have a chat? And his reply was, I'll put you in front of the relevant minister. Talk about man of the people there. And this is the same, I know, met a certain guy for a £38,000 bung for a private jet.
Yes.
Alex Norris brought it up, didn't it? And he just said something very vague about, and then just sat down. He didn't want no part of that question.
No,
kept well aware. But yeah, they'll meet a guy for a private jet, but meet Marie Curie to help her sort out energy bills. No, not interested.
I made a series of pop-ups, like video pop-ups for Prime Minister's Questions this week, because I do a talk along that some of the people watching this might have seen. And one of them was my emergency Corbyn button, and I never got to press it, so I'm going to press it now. This is what it would have looked like. Emergency Corbyn on unlocked. So I was going to have that come up on the screen when he smashed the glass of the emergency Corbyn.
The former member for
his highlight of the Hughes was Lee Anderson.
Oh my God, what a fucking idiot.
The Liberal Democrats.
Yes.
For
being in charge the last 14 years.
The post office thing.
Yeah.
Forgetting that the Tories were in coalition with that.
Yes.
And
it was all their fault.
Yeah. And not just that, but he was community noted and the community note was Ed Davey has a son with a severe disability who he has to care for 24/7. Like he needs round the clock care. So he was with his family as opposed to being there to answer the questions, because they tried to pull that on him. And Darren, sorry man, that happened to you. That's fucking grim, and that's a reality that all of us lot have to live with. He'll never live like common people. He'll never have to worry about saying goodbye without dignity to his family members
on a ward in a bay.
He'll never have to worry about whether or not an ambulance will turn up. He'll never have to worry about his kid being stabbed on the streets of Hackney. He'll never have to give this is the thing. And that's what Keir Starmer meant when he said this guy doesn't understand Britain. It wasn't a racist dog whistle. It was that any billionaire, regardless of their background, will never know what it's like to wait on a list, because he's just got like a fast track to everything on account of his wealth. So that's just a damning indictment of what we have to live with, isn't it? And what we have to put up with, but they don't. Sorry.
Indeed. Tan, I'm going to come to you in a moment. Sorry, I just want to say thank you to Emma Price for the super chat. America is fucking nuts, better than a soap opera, which you can't disagree with. And we keep getting asked a question. We keep getting asked a question by Joe, like how much is it in empirical measures? $1 billion. Well, a British long billion is a million, but we generally use 1,000 million, which is the American.
What is a long million?
It's a million.
I can't understand maths at the best of times. This is maths.
It's just that a million to an American would be $1 trillion.
Mate, honestly, like numbers, like in the words of Danny Dyer, are like a mad riddle. I can't fucking understand them. And I'm sitting here as someone with probably pretty much heavily undiagnosed ADHD and dyscalculia, trying to work out fucking tax return forms. And I'm sitting there going, what the fuck? Like, I've actually walked away from them about 10 times in one day because it's so mad. It's like it's set up to penalise you.
Yeah.
It's so fucking crazy. I'm going to have to appeal a penalty from the tax office because I'm not going to get it done in time. I tried to call their extra support line.
They found that most of the people who get fined for filing late don't actually have to pay tax because they don't earn enough to pay tax.
Well, they tend to overturn it. Even the guy on the phone, when I got through after an hour and a half, was like, I was in tears. I was like, am I going to get like done over by the tax? He's like, don't worry about it. Just file it. You'll get it overturned. Don't worry about it. And I was like, okay then. But yeah, like these things are all kind of set up to make us fail. Whereas Nadeem Zahawi can like evade millions as a minister, keep his job, and be free to do it all over again. It's crazy.
Well, Tan, can I come to you for the story of the week, and then we're gonna have to wrap up because
okay.
Wayne has been raising his hand though, guys.
No. I literally had a point, forgot it, and then Tan went on.
I went on a rant. I'm sorry.
And it made me think about something else, and then when I was trying to go back to my point, I was like, "What the fuck was I talking about?" So,
couldn't remember.
So no, Tan, please carry on.
I've got two. The first one's very brief. It was Hislop handing Jake Berry his arse on Peckham.
That was beautiful.
Where it was literally like, well, who made her who gave the head of the post office a CB in 2019? Who appointed her to the cabinet office? You fuckers. And he was going at him so ferociously that the end credits were like kind of just them two shouting at each other. That was amazing. And the second one was something that happened on Twitter. Elon Musk, the space Karen, has not done much right, but the community notes are a fucking brilliant addition. They're a brilliant addition. They're a brilliant addition to Twitter. Right?
You shall not pass.
I want to call you manager, but no. There was a brilliant thing where the Conservative Post put out a tweet, right, and it literally started with, "Dear Elon Musk, please help. The UK Labour Party are getting community notes published in their favour, despite the fact these are often wrong, as verified by leading barristers such as S. Barrett Barr." Right? They put out that tweet begging Elon for help, and then their tweet got community noted. And it said, read it added context, the Labour Party aren't responsible for writing community notes. The guy, Barrett, who was supposed to be like their leading barrister, then did a follow-up note saying, "Dear Elon, over the last few days, it's become apparent that one of our political parties can get favour," and then that got community noted. And it was like basically like on the spot fact checks. In the last 2 weeks, the people that have got community noted include the Prime Minister's official Twitter account. He'll put out something about the Conservatives like lowering tax, and then it will be like like the italicized thing on Google. "Did you know they're talking bullshit?" Fact checked immediately. So the Tories are getting owned, like even the actual Home Office and the Prime Minister of Britain is getting immediately fact-checked by Twitter, and there's nothing any of them can do about it because the fact-check community are a wide range of people who they can only they're only allowed to do the job if there's like a kind of disagreement between them, like they're selected carefully. So the Tories' normal ploy when it comes to a general election is to put out loads of false ads. I think it was like upper 80-90 percentile of election ads by the Tories were found to be false, whereas Labour and other Liberal parties like none. So this is going to fuck them hard come the election, because if they start putting out false claims, you can have literally underneath their literal Twitter post, and they can do nothing about it, is the facts. So it's like fact check, UK underneath their actual tweets. So that was my second one. And then obviously the Conservative Post and that fake lawyer both went on like a massive blocking spree and blocked half of Twitter afterwards. So Like literally people that had never even interacted with them got blocked. So there's not
Elon
much.
Musk, the radical leftist. Who?
Save us, Elon! Save us!
No, but it was literally they put it literally on the thing. It was like the picture was Elon, please help. That was literally what it said.
It depends on what Elon you want, because there's one is about Twitter or X, and there's the other one about Israel.
I didn't even know there was more than one Elon, but the kind of
way there is
the way they
can't be more than one
like,
Elon.
Elon, please will you touch it? You know, that was the kind of
wow.
That's the way they were going. They were like, oh Elon, please. It was very, very, very funny. But it's good to know that at least we've got actual fact checkers on Twitter, as opposed to the Conservative Party changing their @ to fact check UK, like they did during the last general election, wasn't it? When they tried to claim they were an independent fact checker.
Yeah, they changed the name.
But this is promising.
Got away with it. And got away with it. And that's what I think needs, one of the many things that need to change when Labour are in power. These bastards need to stop getting away with it, because I'm sick and tired of normal people like us getting it in the neck if we do one thing wrong, even if it wasn't our fault. And yet the people who preside over these absolute monumental cock-ups that cost millions, billions of pounds just walk away into the sunset scot-free.
It ever was, isn't it? Like,
can we like all agree as a collective, if Labour get in, we hold them to the same level of scrutiny as we are with the Tories now?
No, I'm going to hold them to a higher level of scrutiny.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, I won't hold them to
one of the reasons we do this channel.
I will hold them accountable based on their record, because at the moment it's pure hypothesis. People are like running around going, "Oh no!"
Fair shout.
And it's
I
like,
describe it as giving a movie a review before it's been made. And you might be able to look at it and go, it's a shit director, but sometimes shit directors, like the director of Anchorman, made fucking The Big Short. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Anchorman 1 was pretty funny, man. It's actually a really good film. The second one, terrible. Second one, terrible. First one, brilliant.
I thought the first one was awful.
Yeah, but have you ever seen Starship Troopers?
I've laughed more at a funeral.
What? The first one I thought was funny.
I didn't get it, Tanner didn't get it. And honestly, I got so much shit for not getting it.
Go back to your home on Whore Island.
See, this is what happens. This is what happens.
Getting banned again.
It's like that bit in Family Guy where they're all going to die, and the dad goes, Peter goes, "Oh, I never cared for The Godfather.
Jesus.
I didn't think it was that good." Just before we die, I just want to say this. And everyone's like, "What the?"
I don't trust you, man, because you think Family Guy's funny, whereas I think that's a big pile of shit, personally.
I didn't say it was funny. I said it was a bit like the scene from it.
I'm just going to go over here.
Why are you saying you love Family? I'm joking. So...
Although Family Guy did have one amazing gag in it, which was that Bill Clinton came to town and he slept with Peter's wife. So Peter went to go around and give him a piece of his mind, and he knocks on the door of the hotel and says, "Mr. President, I'm going to have some words with you." And then it smash cut to them in bed together having cigarettes. And Peter turns to Bill Clinton and goes, "You're really good." Come on, that's funny. Right, I think we should leave it on that. Leave it on a high note. So thank you very, very much for watching. And thanks to my guests, Wayne and Supertanskiii and Scott and Darren. Super Blase, or Daily Blase, is also known in his day job. I've been Graham Hughes. You've been awesome. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.